third dimension I would like to look into is the impact on quality. Promise that stands via automation, as usual, as you take out humans as a potential source of error, is that the quality increases. This is also something we want to measure. We also can apply here before and after. We have a couple of KPIs before in terms of quality, like mean time to repair, number of incidents, correctness of assets, and so on and so on. And we can measure this after automation, when tasks have been automated via scripts. This needs to be better. KPIs need to increase. So this is basically the three main areas. Moving forward to the questions. Okay. Phrase it currently in this following area. To what extent does the structure of the organization change through automation? So keep in mind, what you usually automate are the simple tasks, not the highest complex tasks. That means it affects level 1 and level 2 engineers. This is the majority of the skills usually a company uses an offshoring location. So that has impact on the organization. You need to upskill the people, you need to move them out, you need to assign them to different tasks. So this is one thing we will look into. To what extent the automation strategy is successful in terms of getting better quality and getting faster? That's what I explained before. What's the change in efficiency ratios? I'll just give you a few examples. So expectation would be, as of today, in a standardized environment, one engineer runs up to 200 servers. So that's it. Expectation after automation needs to come to 250 up to 300. So very simple to measure, did we really achieve our objectives? Then back at the workload, I pick up what I said before. Well, the engineer can run, there might be 300 servers, but it might simply be that the engineer works much harder, is not using the tools, and wasn't as efficiently deployed or working before. So that's something we would like to look into. And then how it impacts the motivation. How are people using it? How are people working with it? Is another question we're going to ask ourselves. So next one is preliminary literature. I guess I can keep this short, so I'm still in the process of looking into all this. There's a couple of publications already on the market. Most of it actually goes into the automotive area and manufacturing area. There's not so much in the IT area, but still can be found. Okay. This is just a sort of excursus. How does it tie back to Industry 4.0? Not going to go into too much detail. I want to cover this at least partly in my thesis as well. Because Industry 4.0 needs to be understood also as a new business model in so-called high salary countries to become more effective. And one of the main objectives there is basically to cut out also offshoring effects, which at the end will impact countries like Malaysia. So we need to have a short look into that to forecast the overall development and how much such kind of smart factories, and that goes beyond IT, that goes particularly in automotive and in manufacturing, can have impact on the economy here. Next, and I guess already last topic, is the research methodology. So as usual, I start with the analysis of secondary literature. So there is a lot of literature available, of course, from the leading analysts like Gartner, BSc, Meta Group. The rest is basically academic research. Second topic, I changed from observation to questionnaire. This is planned to be the quality part of the research. So the idea is basically to create a questionnaire, sending it out to a defined population of about 200 to 400 engineers, which are personally impacted by automation, and give them the chance to ask in a structured approach or to answer in a structured approach in the areas like, did it improve your work-life balance? Do you consider it as a threat? Are you actually using automation? Yeah? And so on and so on. So that we basically get an insight into how it's perceived on the floor and beyond the hard KPIs, yeah? How people deal with it in terms of soft KPIs. They might even go so far and not using this at all, yeah? But just supporting this in terms of job safety. Yeah? And to rule out that I get what I would call fake results out of the questionnaire, yeah? Because people are very cautious how they answer this, in particular when it's done within a company. I would also like to go into the qualitative area with interview with selected engineers, basically to go into certain topics in greater detail. And the main focus, the main objective there is then really to find out, on the one hand, if the questionnaire was designed rightly, and if the questions have been understood. So in worst case, I might get results here, which would lead to the fact that I need to redefine the questionnaire and send it out again. And the other thing is basically to get a better understanding out of the questionnaire on some of the details. Yeah? Of course, that's what I'm discussing now. Dr. Peter was advising me actually to use a Google questionnaire tool. Yeah? Defining now the tools, yeah? And then of course using a standard statistical features, yeah? For mapping and documenting the results, and on top of it to be defined. I'm not there yet which kind of correlation analysis and regress analysis I would like to do. Yeah? Good. Lastly, I think there is one more slide on high-level time plan. Yeah. So I thought I finished this already earlier, but I had to revise it, so I'm still in there. Yeah. This is running. Yeah. The questionnaire preparation is ongoing. Yeah. Semi-structured interviews not started yet, and there is a time to apologies. Yeah. And then, of course, in a sequence, in parallel, documentation of findings and completion of findings. So the plan is to have more or less a ready to discuss paper by mid-end of next year. Lastly, I will only look into the first phase of automation. Yeah. The overall automation program, which I'm referring to, runs about 5 years. Yeah. It targets a staff reduction of about 1,000 people globally. Yeah. I will only look into the first phase with the specific impact into the Malaysian market, which has a target of about 100 people. And I will also use this kind of findings and this kind of conclusions basically to look how we need to improve the next phases. Yeah? Because the ultimate ambition of this is not to reduce jobs here. I want to make this very clear. Yeah? It's a must-have. We need to do it to be competitive, but we want to bring it in a way that people accept it, and at the same way that we do here something, that we upskill the people and we enable them to work, not only work with this tool, but also helping us to create new flows and become even more efficient. Because the future is like we see it now in Google and Amazon. The future is very, very, very few human interaction in this area and a vast percentage of fully automated processes. Good. That's what I wanted to share with you for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for giving me the time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you. Sure.
I'd like to know a little bit. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Would you be touching a little bit of workforce planning as well? Are you one of those?
The workforce planning in terms of what?
Yes, you're doing automation.
Yeah.
Put it in this scenario. As you can see, the industry got more pieces of identification. So, how would that do that if, let's say, you have a
Yes.
Okay, so my question is the workforce planning that has, because when it comes to automation, okay. So when you do automation, there will be some jolt in the workforce planning in the industry. For example, in the company itself. Now let's put it there on a higher level. If we look at the current situation, we have multiple entrepreneurs are coming with bits and pieces of every application. Now, some companies, they do use those multiple applications. Will there be any significant role that you're going to pinch in those understanding into this paper as well? Because you mentioned 4.0, so...
Okay, I understand where you come from. I have a slightly different approach in mind because I'm coming from IT operations and I do this automation research in the area of IT operations. Yeah. So we have identified about 600 use cases. We have a rollout of each of these use cases. Behind each of these use cases, there is a defined saving number in terms of hours, which can be mapped one-to-one into the existing staffing structure. Yeah? So I know exactly after rollout of the script, in terms of expectations, that, for example, my database teams need to be by this and this and this more effective. Yeah? So I reduce basically the time writing and need to redeploy them then into new areas. Yeah? That I make the specific defined area of work leaner. Yeah? I'm not doing this, and I understand where you come from, but I'm not doing this for the application part. Yeah? Which is another story, but as of now, only on IT operations. Yeah? And this is, how to say, this is a numbers business. Yeah? So we are talking about running 20,000 servers with 100 people or with 50 people in 3 years. Yeah? You are referring more of application management support and releases and
would
this
you
kind
be
of
covering
stuff.
any of this? No.
No, this one not.
So you mentioned this in the first phase. So would you be extending that later on your next research, or there's any potential you will be looking at that area as well? Because you said this is the first phase. So you cover the ground level, the infra level. Now you get into the particle level. So this is the first phase. Would there be any opportunity that you may touch in to that level as well?
Well, you are challenging me now a bit there because I'm looking at this as of now as self-centric. So I think it has a major contribution to what we're going to do in Malaysia and to make this successful and to avoid that people deal with it in the wrong way. Yeah? And it will help us a lot to develop people on this level. And if we don't do this, we're simply going to lose against competition. So it's a must-have. Yeah? I'm not in the application part. It's not neither my strong professional background nor my personal ambition as of now, because my personal ambition of now is to develop people and to grow actually. Yeah? And this is a tool to develop and grow and to go further. But it could be a logical consequence if infrastructure is as efficient as it can be. At a certain point of time, you need to deploy people anyway into higher end services, and that would be application management. But this is the 3 years journey.
That's why I wonder, because you say it's the first phase, so would there be, if it's there be, I like to be part of it.
Thanks, but I was also told by the doctors and professors, I need to focus a lot and scope a lot. Yeah? Otherwise, I will never finish.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andras, for your very impressive presentation. The topic was quite interesting. And, wish you the best in your research, and we hope you can finish research successfully in proper time, and we see the feedback on the output of the research soon. And next time we are coming here to present results and the achievement in the research. Really enjoy it. Okay, I would like to invite another presenter, Mr. Asano Zaman. He's also our master student in information technology. Please welcome him by giving your. So after Mr. Asano finishes presentation, we will have a 5 minute or 10 minutes break to prepare for the next topic, which is our classified professor. His name is Sureswaran. He is a very well-known professor in Malaysia in field of IT information technology and he will learn as much. Yeah, let's also enjoy another industry.
Thank you, Dr. Reza. My name is Mohammad Asad Jamil Russell. I'm doing Masters in IT. Actually, I just finished my second semester in Masters. Last year in March, I finished my Bachelor in Computer Science Engineering from my country. And my supervisor, Professor Dr. Sadatan, and especially I like to give thanks to him because the most wise guy in his field. And then I like to give thanks our honorable and respectable teacher, Dr. Reza. Actually, I don't have much word to for him because he has some power to inspire the student. Always he will give you a smile, very beautiful smile, and sometimes he will suggest you with very sweet word which is very helpful for research students. Not only for research students, I do believe for all of the students, it's very helpful. So now I'm going to start my presentation. Actually, I do believe it's not presentation, it's some kind of sharing of knowledge, which will be helpful for my research. Uh, Here I'm doing Masters in Information Technology, and I said my background is computer science engineering. So I always try to do something which is related with both sides. Because I'm planning to do also PhD. So I select one topic, which one I can extend for my PhD work. So here I'm going to start. My research topic is automated skin allergy detection and classification by digital image processing. Actually, it has two parts. One part is digital image processing, which is related with information technology. And another part is skin allergy, which is related with medical term. So, before my presentation, I want to tell you about digital image processing, and also I need to tell about skin allergy because to understand my work I need to explain it. So now I'm going to start. There is some outline. I think it's not necessary to explain. It's wasting time. Background. First of all, digital image processing. What is the digital image processing? Before knowing digital image processing, we need to know about image processing. What is the image processing? Image processing is everywhere. Mars to Hollywood, hospital to police station, everywhere image processing, digital image processing. In a simple word, when you are trying to get information from any picture, still picture, by using some technique, some method, some formula, some algorithm, that it is known as image processing. And when you are using a laptop, a computer, or any device, that time it is known as digital image processing, in a simple word. For example, I can tell you about barcode scanner. When you are going to buy something from shop, you need to scan that product, which is known as barcode scanner. After able to know about the price of that product, manufacturing date, and expire date, and sometimes also some production line serial number. And in medical field, there's some application which is great example of digital image processing. For example, I can tell you about CT scan, X-ray, ultrasonography, and MRI. So those applications are example of digital image processing. And skin allergy. According to medical science, in human body, there's too many kinds of skin allergies. But without doing any chemical test, without doing any lab test, with your naked eyes, you can detect on the 33 to 44 kinds of skin allergy. So now I'm planning to apply digital image processing, which is my field, to solve this problem. This problem is, here is the problem, is skin allergy. Why skin allergy? If I show you some pictures of skin allergies, then you will be able to know why it is important. So now I'm going to show you some picture of skin allergies, and I will ask you to look at those pictures very carefully, the color of that picture and the position of this skin allergies, and that's it, and I will tell you about it. First one is cold sore. It's affected on mouth side, and the second one is impetigo. It's affected on your hip, and third one is eye. It's on your hand, and another one is another type of skin allergy is known as warts. The patient is look like adult person, and it's look like children. And another here is atopic dermatitis, and there's other also some sample of skin allergies. So I will ask you to notice the age of patients. So there are different ages and the position of skin allergies, whole body. Sometimes it's on your face, sometimes it's on your back, sometimes it's on your chest, everywhere. So there is no specific portion. It's in your finger, and it's in your stomach, it's chest, and it's back. And according to the position of skin allergies, it's also changed the name. And when it's changed the name, the treatment also different. So for my research, I need to know about the position of skin allergies, where it is. It is in your hand, head, or forehead, anywhere. And I also have to detect the color of skin allergies. Sometimes people don't pay head for skin allergies because they don't have time. Everybody living a busy life. Sometimes they don't have proper knowledge, and also people afraid to spend money. As a result, sometimes they ignore it. Skin allergy, one of the reasons of skin cancer. So I think you are understanding why it's so important. Related research, actually in this field, still now no research has done. But there's some work which is related with skin cancer, skin rash, or but not exactly skin cancer. So I've studied many papers, but not so much. But I have chosen 5 papers. I believe those 5 papers quite interesting for my research. Best 5 ones I have put it here. One is skin cancer detection using same digital image processing. And second one, analytical study on human texture skin disease. I will explain you later. And digital image processing for medical images. In medical images, we are using different kind of digital image processing application. I told you. And medical image processing by means some of AI method. AI means artificial intelligence method. And number 5 is most interesting for me, selective aperture radar image processing using AI artificial intelligence plan. It's a little bit older, but it's interesting because in their research they use artificial intelligence. It's a bit with battlefield. I mean the military army. They use this some radar to detect automatically the hidden object in the sky. Aim and objective. You are seeing that there is a 4 objective. Actually, there are 5 objectives. When I was presenting my proposal presentation, I told my supervisor, Professor Salapan, look, if I have much time to do 4, then I will go for number 5. Number 5 is actually for my future work, but these 4 topics is 4 objective is completely full of research. You can spend your whole life for each topic to detect human skin color. Why? In this world, there's too many kinds of people: African people, American people, European people, Indian people, and their skin color is fully different, not same. I think you know. And for example, I have one friend who came from same, same city, but our skin color is also different. So person to person, skin color is unique. So to detect human skin color is a whole lifetime research. Another one is to analyze skin allergy according to skin color. Sometimes people have some tattoos on their skin. Sometimes they have some birthmark in their skin. Sometimes they have some scar in their skin. So it's pretty hard to understand which one is good skin and which one is disease-affected skin. And third number is to find out the color of skin allergies. It's also another. And to measure the amount of skin allergy, it means it's according to the pixel number. What is the pixel? It's the unit of picture. For object, unit is sometimes electron, neutron, proton. So for image, its unit is pixel. And number 5 is to detect, which I didn't put, which is to detect the human body part. You will notice in high security building or high security system, they are using two kind of security system. One is fingerprint. You need to just put your thumb print, that's it. Sometimes they also more high secure, they use eye scanner. The eye scanner is main fact is the distance between your two cornea and the color of cornea. And a fingerprint, a thumb fingerprint is fully different. And if we are looking for more secure something, that time we are looking for DNA test. But DNA test is fully chemical and a medical based, depth based. So image processing is eye scanner and fingerprint scanner. So human body part is too much complicated detective. We are human, we are by born artificial intelligence by God given. But machine need to know. We need to put some command, need to some programming to do some specific purpose to do. So that's why sometimes I need to do some more programming or more programming command to detect human body. For example, you are a human, you know this is my face, but machine doesn't know. If I ask you what is it, you can tell me it's your hand. But if I show the machine, nothing. So it's also another research. That's why I didn't put it. And I told my supervisor, if I do same thing in my PhD, then that time I will do it. And research question is how many types of human skin color in this world. I told you different type of human in this world. What does allergy affect in human body? Which portion? What is the color of skin allergy? And how much amount is this affected? Yes. And actually, it's not my proposed studies. I just made it easy to understand you. First, this is input. Picture of patient. I'm going to build one software. It's almost finished, but I need to collect all the data. Just I can collect 40% data because we use data. Picture of patient is the man input, and then resize, and this portion is digital image processing, RGB conversion, graphical conversion, clustering, DNS method, morphological analysis, whatever. Too many steps, and then after finish this process, we are getting to decision. Which one is skin color, lesion color, and which skin allergies color. The third one is pixel number of whole amount of skin allergies affected here. According to this, I'm going to, as the output, we are getting the name of skin allergies. So, in this case, data source is the main fact. You can ask me, how can you are going to manage this amount data? It's all over the world. I have some friends, and they are helping me. And there's one government institute of my country. They are helping me, and some of medical students, they are my batchmates. They are also helping me, and two medical college of my country, they are helping me, and definitely some website. One thing I need to mention, I'm collecting data. What kind of data I'm collecting? Definitely I'm collecting some pictures. When they are giving me pictures, definitely they inform me, these pictures, this type of skin allergy. These pictures, this type of skin allergy. It's like I'm giving you a picture of cow, you know, it's a cow. I'm giving you a picture of dog, you know, it's a dog. That's it. In this way, I'm getting information, data collecting from them. This is my expected output. First of all, I told you I need to detect the human skin color. On the basis of I made it four, just for standard: white, black, brown, and dark brown. The name of the affected area, which portion here this is affected. It's in your face, treatment is different. It's in your chest, different. It's in the lower portion of the stomach, treatment is different. Why treatment is different? Because just think wisely, you have some skin allergies in your face. It might be because of the sunlight. Try to go avoid, yeah. And you have some skin allergies in your underarm. maybe it's because of dirtiness, and you have some skin allergies because of your underclothes. So you need to change it. So that's why detect human body parts need to, I mean, patient's body part need to detect. And accuracy, this is the most important. How can I going to measure the accuracy? How can I prove my system, my software is working properly? I told you I'm collecting data source. I told you I'm collecting some pictures. Just told you I'm collecting pictures of different kind of disease. So my input, when I'm going to input those pictures, I already know these pictures for this type of atopic dermatitis allergies. So I already know. After finish analyzing, if my output is matching with that reference, that means my output is correct. If it's not matched with my reference, that means my output is wrong. My software is not working properly. In this way, I'm going to measure. And after I finish more 100%, when I get more 99 or 98% accuracy, that time I can ask the hospital to use this software. And also, I can use mobile apps for the normal people. Patient can get easily this information. And challenges, I think if I work more deeply in every section of my objective, everything is challenged. As I told you, in this field, still have no research. So, okay, maybe this whole process is 100%. I have done only 0.01%, but I have done something. So when I'm going to next meet, you will get some information from my research. So challenge is the color variation of human skin. I told you different kind of Middle East people, they are brown, Asian people, they are near about dark brown, and Chinese people, they are yellow white. That's it. And skin rash, I told you, sometimes people have on their skin tattoo, skin scar, or skin rash, or sometimes they have some birthmark. That's a big challenge. And another big challenge is visual effect. You can't touch. You have to depend only on the picture. And actually, it's the condition of digital image processing. You have to depend on and detecting different parts of human body. I told you, it need to develop super artificial intelligence. So it's not. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible, but for master research, it's too much, I think, and because it needs too much time, and you need to develop one team to finish this research. And I told you at the beginning of my presentation, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to solve some problem by using digital image processing. In this case, my problem is skin allergy. So I can replace this with skin cancer, or I can replace it by fracture of clothes in the garments factory, or the civil engineer, I can replace the road fracture, or high story building fracture. So anything. It's just some kind of formula I need to establish, and I need to solve some problem by using this formula. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and everywhere is going on. So I do believe possible to detect any kind of disease by using this technique as a part of digital image processing. So that's all my presentation. So do you have any question?
Any questions there?
Hi, Mohammed. Your name is Mohammed, eh?
Call me Mama.
Okay, I'll just give you a little bit of my background, so that will reflect to the questions I'm going to ask you. I come from a HIS background, Healthcare Information System. I've been doing imaging work close to about 10 years. So questions could be a little bit tough, but it's okay, we can answer them, it's fine. Now, if looking at the DIPs that you're doing, now there are some areas of what you heard, like recent facts. You know what's recent facts? I presume you have done some studies on recent facts. When you look at recent facts, the latest digital images that are produced by recent facts are far more beyond than what I've said. You know, for one reason, if we see the industry is moving what we call tele-imaging. From telemedicine, we are moving to tele-imaging. For example, Malaysia does about close to 750 tele-imaging in a month, compared to Philippines does 2,500 in a month, tele-imaging only. And majorly they cover, of course, what you say as recent diseases, whereby a lot of people who does first-hand reporting as well as second-hand reporting. Now, the question is, how do you see your DIP comparison towards the risk facts imaging technology that has already in the market? That's one. Number two, you have mentioned that your research, I mean, the source of image, or rather the source of information are coming from your friends, which is besides some what I've seen from your note, from your home country, which is Dhaka. And have you done any part of, let's say, from other regions, for example, Africa or even Asia, because you have mentioned that you are doing like 4 types of skin color, which is, you know, fairly for a Caucasian, for American, for an African, Black African, American African, Indians, as well as other mix. So have you done any part of those which could reflect to the color skin that every human has? So how does you think that your DIP can do a comparison to the latest risk facts imaging comparing to the zonal people who live in different countries?
Finish?
Yeah.
You have asked me 2 questions. 2 questions is really hard questions. Okay, just first of all, I'm collecting information from, there's one institute in my country. Our government wish within 2020 they're going to whole country digitalized. So there's one specific institute, they're going to help you if you are showing them that you are able to help them to make it digitalized. So in this way, they're giving most of information what I need, they're providing me, and it's not enough. I know. Sometimes I'm trying to get some pictures from Middle East, Egypt, and also some pictures from Germany, also from London and UK. And I'm also trying to communicate with some medical college and skin specialist. So as much as possible, look, I'm getting just only, I just told you, I finished my 2nd semester. Still now, it's not 1 year, 11 months. So in this time, I'm trying to, as much as possible, how far I can go. It's a long way, I do believe it's infinity. But as far I can go for the accurate result, that is my research. So I'm trying to get all information, and I'm also trying to apply this formula all over the world, but I need time. So masters, maybe I won't get that much of time. And can you ask me your first question again, please?
Okay, the DIP, what's the comparison with the risk packs that has now in the market?
Okay, it's a very good question. Okay, when you are getting sick, for example, you got accident, you are going to medical center, and doctor asks you to do something X-ray. X-ray also another application of digital image processing. Here is they are using some alpha, beta, gamma ray, some wavelengths. So they are always maintain one distance. So yes, I told you it's another application of digital image processing. If it is possible, that it is also possible. And I think it's if I am able to detect the skin allergy, then it is possible also detect any kind of which is skin cancer or skin scar or skin rash, anything. So, and at beginning of starting of my presentation, I told you I need to solve some problem by using digital image processing. Just I'm going to solve this problem. I mean, I told you there is no research still now. So this is the beginning, just maybe 0.01%. That's it. So I'm trying to do my best. And in the market field, yes, it has a great demand. I do believe personally, because I already talked with some doctors. They told me if I able to do this for them, it will be very helpful. And in this way, using my knowledge, using my IT knowledge, I can help people. That's it. Okay, Asana.
There's a lot of people out here, but I just want to look back on you. You didn't answer my question. The question
Didn't understand actually.
could I know what is the comparison that you're making in DIP studies comparing to risk packs that has in the market? You need to see, you're doing additional image. What I call yourself as self-monitored digital image. That means, for example, if you're in a rural area, let's take Indonesia. If you go to the surrounding of Medan, there's a lot of people have skin disease problem. After the last tsunami, what I call as a Mother Nature Act. So thereafter that, there was a force that has put it in place for them to do more image study back in Medan. Now, come back to your question is, you are preparing a software, that's what you mentioned earlier. So, if let's say, if I were to take your software, what is the comparison of your software with the current respects market that has? Because respects are high-level medical imaging processing tools. It's already in the market. And if you look at Siemens has worked on a new 724, they call it Tesla MRIs, that can give you as detailed whatever it is. Now, with your DIP, what is the comparison? What study you have done? I can see your source of getting the image, yes, that's one. You're not solving the, you're not telling me, oh, this is a bird skin, this is a motobenis. It's called a cow skin diseases. So these are skin, but you're using your tool to detect. But what is the tool that you use comparison to the market? Because you're contributing back to the market. So your research has to come back to us. Like for people like us, we are in the healthcare sector. We look at avenues that enable people to use technology to solve problems. That's what you're doing. But come back to the question is, what comparison have you made for your tool compared to what is in the market?
Okay. Okay. At this moment, for skin allergies or for skin cancer, no tools. Directly, you need to wait to get the medical report for lab test, which is not instant. You need to test. That's why I'm trying to do something which is very rapidly and you can help people. Just I want to save time and the market. I told you it's Still now, no research in this field and no equipments for skin allergies. You need to send some sample to the lab for chemical test. That's it.
Um, I think that's why it's a research. He's still going on with the research. He's trying to, if I'm not mistaken, he wants to compare your work with the existing system, the software and the existing system. So I think that's part of the research. To me, you've not finished. So I'm just trying to respond to his question. I think by the time this is rather saying you should study the existing system to be able to compare and see how your work will deliver better. That's what he's trying to say. Thank you very much.
Not yet. Did you get your answer or just ask me? Actually, I'm not understanding. I'm not good.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this one. I'll spend some time with you. I'll give you my 15 years in healthcare industry experience that could be used in your paper. Okay, that sounds better. I can tell you there is 3 doctors who's working on this, and one of them who just came down. His name is Dr. Padmanabhan. He is an amazing expert. He was in KL. I met him over a couple of days ago. So he should be one of your source that he can give you a very good understanding how DIT works. So because I understand if you're creating a tool that to be used in the market, but you need to understand what is available that yours can be better than what is available in the market. And yours is what we call as mobile tool that can be used in a private hospital. Now, if I go back a little bit detailed, if I go and ask a skin surgeon to do the derive of each skin lesion that you have, they have total different perspective compared to a normal GP. Yeah, so you end up, you will be having a GP output and a skin specialist output. Yeah, so that what I worry is, that's why I'm asking the same question, what can be a comparison can be done that could derive your source, because you're getting a source from medical students. Are they skin experts or a normal GP? So that will give you the accuracy of your source. So that's why coming back to that.
There's sometimes limitation. My range is only for medical student. I mean my level. So skin specialists sometimes they are not willing to give you information.
Understood.
And the previous time I wanted to work for telemedicine. Okay, that time I asked a specialist, look, I want to make one application according to your symptoms, disease symptoms, automatically will detect your disease. Just some normal fever or pain or headache or your stomach pain, some kind of disease you can detect easily. That time they refused me. So actually I'm not medical student. I told you I'm IT student. My main focus is my method.
That's why I understand. That's why your method.
That's why maybe you are feeling some information gap. It's true. I also agree with you. There is some information gap because I'm not medical student. I'm trying to help them. That's it. Without benefit for my research. So much. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Yes, I think he deserves to clap for him. He did very well in the master project, and the topic he chosen is really interesting. Anyway, like my friend Mr. Rajan, he is going to help people for to solve their problem. He's going to save the world, and he's going to save people's life. That's interesting. So I'm really pleased to inform you we have Professor Dr. Sureshwaran, I hope I pronounced his name properly. And he's with us today, as we promised you before this, he's going to give us talk. But before I invite this distinguished professor to give us talk, I just want to share with you a background of his the research and also his education. He did his bachelor in engineering, electrical and computer engineering, and as a top first graduating class in University of Miami, Florida, and master also in computer engineering in University of Miami, Florida. And also he did his PhD in computer science at University of Saint Malaysia, USA. And Professor Sureshwaran is a visiting professor at the International University of Malaya Wells, IUMW. He is also the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board of NLTVC SDN-VHE. Prior to this, he was the founding director of and professor at the National Advanced IPv6 Center for Excellence, University of Saint Malaysia. And some of his recognition include being awarded the Wireless World Research Forum Fellow in April 2010. This fellowship award was presented in the recognition to his contribution in the area of next generation network and IPv6. Malaysian Innovation Award by the Prime Minister in 2007 and again by the Minister of Science and Technology in 2009. These awards were given in recognition for his contribution towards innovations in the areas of multimedia conferencing systems and real-time advanced security monitoring. The Anegura Tulko Negar, I hope I pronounced these local words properly, also National Academic Leader for Innovation and Commercialization in 2008 by the Minister of Higher Education. This award is given to an academic in recognition to his contribution to innovation and commercialization in the area of science and technology. Emeritus Chair, IPv6 Forum Education Program. Apart from this, he published 93 international and 9 national journal, e-journal, and journal proceedings, and contributed 9 chapters in research book, attended 18 conferences as a speaker, and produced 14 patents, received 14 international grants, and heading 2 national grants for program. Heading 6 private grants, published 6 teaching modules, heading 7 university grants, co-researcher for 5 university grants, 15 national grant for project, heading 5 national grant as co-researcher, produced 4 media materials and produced 7 mass media mainstream. He also taught over 21 classes for both undergraduates and postgraduates and supervised over 50 final year project students, supervised over 152 industrial training students, supervised 16 PhD students and they completed their study, currently supervising another 17 PhD students, and supervised 8 master students in research mode and 10 master students in mixed mode, and they are already completed their study. And currently supervising another 7 master students, who received 13 academic awards and received 4 international Dean's Awards and 2 President's Awards from University of Miami, received 1 U.S. National Dean's List Awards and became the academic assessor, external examiner for 15 students, and became academic internal examiner for 3 students, 19 course master's project, and became assessor professional examiner for 3 students, and invited as a visiting lecturer, visiting scientist, visiting fellow, visiting professor, and recently also he's an adjunct professor in MUSD. I think this is good news for all IT students. We have him here to support you as well. Okay, I would like to use this opportunity, and this is my honor, and to invite Professor Dr. Sureshwaran to come and join us and give us talk. Thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. A long introduction. You shouldn't believe everything people tell you. And let's see, how many of you are PhD students? Quite a good number. And how many of you are from the computer science field? Quite a good number. And how many of you are doing security? One, okay. 2 of you are doing security. Today's talk is in the field of botnets. So cybersecurity is a big thing. Today it has become such a big thing that you can do an entire 4-year undergraduate degree in computer security. That's being offered. So it's a huge field. Oh, I thought you were doing PhD in cybersecurity. Why you didn't put up your hand? And botnets are one field of cybersecurity. And the field of botnets is, it's been around, but it's not widely talked about. I will explain botnets today. I'll give you all a briefing into it, and we'll hopefully throw some light into the area. We will start off with a short PowerPoint, or let's start with a short movie. Because it's 2 o'clock. What time did you all have your lunch? 1 o'clock, right? So for me, usually 1 o'clock you eat rice, and then 2 o'clock you're sleeping. You know, if you don't walk or you don't do anything, then you feel sleepy. No? Look at him, his eyes is so big. He's not sleepy, okay. Okay, let's do the movie. Can I get some help? Yeah.
It's being set up.
Oh, it's being set up. Okay, the movie is being set up. Anyone feel sleepy, feel free to go. I think the tea is there, right? Is that only for speakers or anyone can? Anyone, okay, let's tea there, free tea, free food, don't eat anymore, just tea. How many students are doing programming now this year? How many PhD students still involved? Okay, your master's, PhD, but you're doing programming? Most people, once they reach PhD level, they don't want to do programming. It's difficult to get them to do programming. And what is your area? What is your area?
Doing studies.
Digital strategies. PhD on management. Management are digital strategies. You're programming in databases? Is that what you're doing? Okay. Here. One of the big guys. What do you study? Network topology. And you're a master's student? PhD student. And what are you studying with network topology?
It's the design and enhance the performance of existing topology.
Okay. You use simulators? What simulator do you use? Cisco. Open source. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you saw, the moment I wanted to criticize Cisco, they canceled it. We'll do the second one, the second one.
Test mic 1, 2.
Hey, what's up? This is Jack Douglas, and for my English project, I decided to do a documentary on my family.
The world is on fire today. Should be the biggest single act of cyber terrorism. At 8:45 this morning, at 3 of the world's busiest airports, chaos as air traffic control systems broke down. And starting at 9:20, 3 plane crashes were reported within minutes of each other. Cyber terrorists are believed to have infiltrated the computer network of dams, causing massive floods in 2 major cities. Early estimates of fatalities could run into many thousands. In a related report, computer networks were sabotaged in key stock markets, causing erratic changes in share prices. This just in, hackers have gained access to the networks of 5 major nuclear power plants around the world. Radiation leak has affected surrounding areas. People are being forced to evacuate their homes.
Power outages, stock market crashes, the breakdown of infrastructure. The plot of the latest disaster movie? No, it's the grim possibilities of cyber terrorism. It's when hackers can wreak havoc on the economy, infrastructure, and military with a few short commands on a computer.
Cyberterrorism means different things to different people. To us, in fact, cyberterrorism refers to the use of computer networks to cause harm to countries or people or the economies. For instance, all sectoral barriers. It can be in banking, it can be in healthcare, it can be in aviation. It straddles everything.
The video you saw just now is from an organization called IMPACT. IMPACT stands for the International Multilateral Partnership Against Cyberterrorism. Their office is actually headquartered in Cyberjaya. I used to be the research director of IMPACT. Now, what you saw was a little bit of dramatization, but as the later part said, it's all real. This is not just dramatization, but a lot of it happens. Some of it reaches the common public. Most of it does not. Most of it you won't know about. Recently, there was a very, very interesting case. Part of it came out in the newspaper. 80 million US dollars was stolen from a bank in Sri Lanka. How many of you read about it? No, it was Sri Lanka. It was Sri Lanka. It was I think it was skewed in Bangladesh or proved in Sri Lanka. Somebody did something, I think.
The extract on US Federal Reserve.
No. So it's a different one. So this, what happened is, this is a group that has been working for a very long time. They have been very careful in what they do. They observe the banks, the bank system. You walk into a bank today. If I brought my notebook here. I turn on my notebook. I'm a trusted party. Or so you think I'm a trusted party. You let me connect to your network. Right? Or it looks like a network adapter. And I say, I just need to connect my network adapter to your network. What it does, it packet sniffs. So you have a lot of these devices these days. You can go on the internet, you can buy one. Sniffers, little portable sniffers. Turn it on, wireless, walk into a bank, capture the packets. It's not that easy, but as I said, these people are really good at what they do. You don't spend 1 day, 2 days you spend months observing the banks that you want to rob. And what they did, they got into the banking system. They queued transactions worth 260 million US dollars into the bank. They execute the transactions on a Friday evening. The bank, I can't remember whether it was Sri Lanka or Bangladesh, but I think it was Sri Lanka. It was Sri Lanka. And the executions take place to online accounts in different parts of the world. And what happens is, on the second online account, the transactions are then made to the country destination. So they make it in such a way. It's Friday, it is Saturday in New York, where the banks generally connect to the New York system for approval. It's approved. And then on Sunday, it goes into the banks. On the destination, on Monday, they make sure that it's a public holiday in the country. In this case, it was the Philippines, where the money went in. And then they make sure that the money went into, in this case, casinos in the Philippines. Casinos in Bangladesh. Okay, I need to check that. Because I was Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. But Bangladesh.
Due to error, they failed to withdraw $870 million.
Due to the error of someone entering the wrong name. The guy who was in charge of entering the names on the hacker's side entered one of the names wrongly. 80 million of transactions took place. When it came to that, it couldn't continue the transaction because the name was typed wrongly. One alphabet was typed wrongly. It stopped the transaction. Stopped the transaction, alerted the bank. Now, if he had not typed that alphabet wrongly, the entire 260 million would have been transacted without the bank knowing it. Without the bank realizing it was wrong. So the 80 million that went through completed the transaction, by the way. People in the Philippines, they walked in, the guys walked into the casinos, took the money out, gambled for a while, cashed out, walked out. 80 million gone. It's not a one person, two person, five people, someone sitting in your basement type of operation. Very well coordinated, very well done. Of course, now you have the agencies around the world getting together to figure out how many other banks have already been robbed without them knowing they were robbed.
Citadel Group operating since November 22nd, 2012. By 2014, the SC said they stole maybe over $1 million US. But still lose to our
So the amount that is still that has been robbed is still being traced. Okay. So this is how good these people are. They're not little guys, they're not you and me, they're not students sitting around saying, oh, look, I can go and get 2 million again. Right. These guys run in billions. Their operations are huge. They're very, very good at what they do. Okay, let me see if I can start off my slideshow then. Those days, when I say those days means 1982, 83, 84, internet still hasn't come to Malaysia. You know, what you did was you had computer viruses. 82, 83, 84. How many of you had PCs in 84? 1984. The Apple IIe, Apple IIc, you had the Apple spin-offs, you had the Sinclair. Z80, if I'm not mistaken. Evolved, things evolved. One of the very first viruses I remember, you got it on a 5 and a quarter inch floppy. The virus was formed by two programmers or two guys in Pakistan who were selling illegal software. And what happened was they had a competitor selling illegal software. They didn't like it, so they wrote a little program. When you put your floppy drive in, upon booting, it would run the program and wipe out your hard drive. So they gave that to the competitor. Interestingly, it spread around the world, not just to the competitor, the rest. Everyone who copied the disk copied it. And that was one of the first few forms of malicious where that came out. Now, what was the benefit to the person doing that? Right? So you had these two brothers in Pakistan doing that. What was the benefit? Almost nothing. So those days, early days, you had people writing malicious software. They would say things like, "Oh yeah, we'll write code which will delete your hard drive, code the famous virus." So lots of this stuff, childish pranks. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it deletes files, sometimes it just does something like a practical joke. No benefit to people. These were mostly created by individuals. Bored students, people unhappy with their company, right? So left UM, he was unhappy with UM, things like that. Eventually, as time went on, people realized that there were groups of people who said, "Look, let the kids have their fun, but we are organized. We are organized crime. How can we make money from what's happening?" So organized crime, mainly from Russia, organized crime, a few other places, got together and said, "Let's create something that is going to bring money to us." And the world started. Botnets basically means a network of bots. So take bots, which is a short form for robot, create a network of it, you have a botnet. And naturally, with a botnet, you have a bot master, the guy who controls the bots, right? And so all this run on your little computer here without you knowing it. How many of you don't have a computer? So all of you have a computer. How many of you have at least two computers in your house? Two. How many of you don't have at least two computers? You all are lazy to put up your hands. So if I say don't have, then I'll go. So all of you have at least two computers. How many of you have three computers? I have. One at work, one in the office, one at home. How many of you have a mobile phone, smartphone? Not a stupid one, smartphone. All of you, right? All of you. Do you consider this a computer? Yes. How many computers do you have now? 5. Some of you have one phone, one smartphone for your girlfriend, one smartphone for your wife, one smartphone for your boyfriend, I don't know. Right? How many smartphones do you have? Network optimizer. 2 phones. 2 phones, how many computers?
No, I said 2 computers, 1 phone.
2 computers, 1 phone, 3 devices. You know what the national statistics are for botnets? 30 to 40% of all computers are infected with a botnet, which means probably 1, maybe 2 of these devices are. If you take the statistics, definitely one of these devices is compromised with a botnet. Right? So in this room, probably we have, I think we have about 50 people, 50, 60 people. You probably have 60 botnets sitting in this room. But most of you have 3 devices. Okay, at this point, you're going to look, the speaker, what is he drinking? Is he drinking whiskey? You know, he's saying, I got a botnet on my computer. My computer is safe. Yours is safe. Not safe. Compromised with it. So you admitted. Okay. You know, some speakers like to have a whiskey before they speak. That's actually a good idea. Okay. I can tell you personally, most of your PCs are compromised. Why don't you know it? Why can't the antivirus detect it? Antivirus won't detect it, one, because it's not a known thing. It's not there to announce itself and say, I'm going to delete your hard drive. It's not ransomware that's asking you for money. It's sitting quietly there. When it's quiet, you don't even know it's there. Right? You don't care. So it's done so well, it very often doesn't affect the performance of your computer. They write it very well. Doesn't affect your performance. Trust me. Trust me, I had a computer that was infected and I did not know it was infected. And it was a Macintosh. And this was 10 years ago. 10 years ago when I first started getting into the field of botnets. I had a Macintosh. I said, oh, very secure. You know why? How many of you use Pine for your emails? How many of you use SSH to go into a server and then read your emails on a server without downloading it to your one person? So I do that. Three of us do that, right? I SSH, I run Pine, which is a ASCII green color screen, Prof. Salapan's software, you know, with and everything on a green screen. That's what I use today to read my emails. Because it's the most secure form of reading emails. You don't download it off the server. So I thought I was very secure. Don't download emails, download it onto another PC. Don't lend my notebook to anyone. My kids cannot touch my notebook. They're not allowed. Kids are the worst thing, by the way. They are a guaranteed virus, worm, destroyer, bringer to your notebooks. Right? This is why my wife's notebook never works. And then she scolds me, she scolds the company, she says safety is lousy. Who's married here in the room? You married? You're married, right? So what do you tell your wife when she says that? Yeah. See, he's clever. You just say, yes, darling, you're right. You know, HP, lousy company. Anyway, how did I find out my notebook was compromised? One day I was sitting in my house. So this was 2005, 10 years ago. Turned it on. I was doing some work, and it was on Wi-Fi. And my Wi-Fi, I left it open so that my neighbors could use it. I'm a nice guy. So free. That time internet was just starting. Let everyone use it. And we had written a software called iNetMod. Now iNetMod it's a packet analyzer. It's very much like Snipper. If you've written Snipper or you've used Snipper, you would have known it. If you're doing packet analysis, network design, you would have used it. So it shows you all the packets going in and out of your network. So I just ran it, you know, just out of the blue. I decided to run packet analyzer, see what my neighbors are doing. Man, it showed 4 megabits of traffic was going out. It's happening on my network. It was being transmitted out. And so I started looking to see which IP was doing it, which MAC address. And amazingly, every time I logged into the IP and MAC, within a few minutes, it would change. So the source MAC, source IP kept changing. The destination was always the same. It was basically shooting out UDP packets. So it was an attack. It was called what we call a DDoS attack onto a particular IP somewhere in the internet world. I was sitting there thinking, which of my ungrateful neighbors, you give them free internet, others, what they do, they abuse. At first I thought they were downloading a movie, then I said maybe they're uploading a movie. They set up one of these movie streaming servers. But what was strange is the IP kept changing. And then something dawned on me, because when we wrote INETMON as a software, and if you run it in a wireless environment, the only non-broadcast packets it can see are packets from your own PC. Because you're running it in wireless mode. The wireless adapter can only see your own packets and broadcast packets, multicast packets. These were unicast packets. So whatever packet that I was seeing going out, that 4 megabits of UDP attack string that was going on, was coming from my own Macintosh. Very well written. I could never figure out what part of the code, which part of the code it had embedded in. Probably somewhere into the operating system. Never bothered me, never slowed down my Mac. I would have never known about it if I did not run my analyzer in a wireless mode. If I ran it in a wired mode, I would have just blamed everyone else. That's how good these people are. Not only are they good, they actually provide an antivirus for you. Right? So now, if you own a PC, right? You own a PC. Do you want someone else to take over that PC? No. You want any other virus to come in? What happens when you have a virus on your PC? Okay, let's take the role of my wife now. Virus! What will she do? She will tell my son, reformat. Right? After scolding him, HP, she said reformat. Right? Now, let's assume you had a botnet on that PC. When I reformat that PC, what happens to the botnet? What happens to the botnet when you reformat the PC? What happens to everything on the PC when you reformat the PC? Gone. Right? So if I'm a botnet sitting on a PC and I just got reformatted, I just lost one bot on my net. I just lost one of my agents. So, good botnets will not let viruses come in. They will actually stop the virus. They say, look, taken, get lost. Right? And they will make sure that it doesn't come into infect the computer. Why? It wants full control of it. It doesn't want anyone else sitting there. Anyone that may cause it to get deleted. Very interesting. So actually there was a discussion when somebody said, if it's already helping me, why do I care who is attacking? Right? It's not bothering me. Hey guys, what do you think? Doesn't bother me. Never mind. Remember, it's eating up bandwidth. Every time it does an attack, it's eating up bandwidth. If you're paying for bandwidth by the minute, or by the amount of bandwidth you use, you're going to pay money. That's why. Makes you, not really, but it identifies the fact that your computer is infected. What's worse is your IP or your office IP may get blacklisted. I mean, there are other repercussions that go with it. The interesting part is it actually protects your computer. It's very interesting. Think of it that way.
It's just one way. They will connect to the internet, deactivate your USB, deactivate your iOS support, and don't put it in there.
You can go safe, but then you won't have all the beauty of the internet anymore, right? Okay. So botnets, as I already told you what they are and how they work. Now, what happens is you have an initial general botnet life cycle. This is a general cycle, not necessarily always used. You have an initial infection, then you have a secondary infection, you have a connection, you have malicious command and control, you also have update and maintenance. Always remember, the people who write botnets are the best programmers in the world today. They are the best. Even better, I used to think the best programmers were gamers. People who wrote game, not the ones who play, the ones who write the gaming software, right? How many of you game? How many of you play? He's smiling. What do you play? You don't play? You don't play? That's bad. What online game? How many of you play Warcraft? Dota? How many of you play Dota? Nobody plays Dota. Nobody plays Dota? I play Dota. I used to. My wife shouted at me. I still play. I play with my son. My son, famous Dota player. My son, not me. Initial infection takes you to a website. Give you one example. And today there are a lot of websites. You know, you get these emails coming in. Please go to this website, check this. I just received one today. You get hundreds of it. Your Citibank transaction has not gone through due to some issues. Please go to this website to see what the issue. Right? First thing you look and you get emails like that. These donkeys. I mean, the brighter ones would have put Citibank in the email, right? Citibank.com. The stupid ones will put some other email. You see, you just delete them. Right? Okay. However, there are people, and this time I cannot mention my wife, but I will say other people, right? There are other people who see such mails and say, click. They'll go to a website, right? And then the website will say something, no big deal, no big deal. And then, okay, you end and go somewhere else. When you are in that website, there will be what is called an initial infection into your computer. Remember, your browsers run Java, your browsers run runtime code. Most browsers, although they are being built securely over and over again and being done better and better, there will be loopholes, and these guys get in through that. They make you run Java code, which will then be able to do something small or infect some way your computer. That's the initial infection. Secondary infection, what happens? That little initial infection then says, okay, it's always usually an FTP. FTP to another site, download the big guy. Download the full program. So while you're using the internet without realizing you're downloading a program, that program will come into your computer and it's there. That's the bot. That's the full bot. Okay, the initial infection is very small, but it is used to download the one infection, which I will then explain the others in slides, next slide. Okay. So initial infection, I just told you all about this. Secondary infection, basically shell code, as I said, use FTP, HTTP now and P2P are also done. Right? So it downloads it and then your computer becomes a zombie. What programs establish a command and control channel? So once I'm established sitting there, I need to receive commands. Remember, I'm a zombie. I'm a robot. I take orders. So somebody must control me. I haven't reached the level of AI. Let's put that on silent mode. I haven't reached the level of AI. I cannot think yet. You see all these new movies nowadays, they show AI. How many of you saw that recent movie, Ex Machina? Nobody? One. That's it. Two. Always the same two people. Nobody saw the movie. Go watch the movie. It's not in the cinemas. You got to Download it legally or illegally, that's up to you. Right? You can watch it. It's a very interesting movie. But there was an even better movie. I think it was called She or Her. It was basically another intelligence, a lady starts talking to her. Anyway. Very good movies on AI. Talk about AI, taking it to, of course, the next level of AI movie-wise. Zombies don't have that much AI. Their AI is only the AI part to infect other computers around. Okay? So zombies are, in that sense, the program itself is smart. If it's not doing anything, if it's bored, if, what's your name? Vicky. Vicky is sitting there, her mobile phone is on, the mobile phone says, okay, Vicky is not doing anything with me, she won't notice, it starts scanning the network. Right? And you see a dog there playing with his mobile phone, you say, his mobile phone is on. So it immediately starts scanning all his ports to see which ports are vulnerable on his mobile phone. Infection. So they do double scanning, not only one way of infecting you by when you go to a website. Once it's there, it starts scanning your network, it infects everything else. Okay? As I said, the major culprits are your children. They go everywhere. They download all the rubbish. Once they do it on their computer, your computer is connected to your home network, right? Guess what? It starts scanning all the computers in the home. And then it infects your computer, your notebook. Right? Vicky? Then Vicky brings a notebook to the university and she hooks it up to the university network. Guess what then happens? Right? It scans the entire university network and whoever notebook is not protected, it will infect. Scary, right? This is why I said 30%, 30 to 40% of your computers are infected. Don't feel bad if you have an infected computer or a handphone. It's normal. It's bound to happen. Okay? Boardmaster uses the command and control channel to disseminate commands to his board arm. That's how he does it. Bots, like all good software, have updates. You must have live updates. You must be continuously updated, right? Update about the boardmasters that to get caught. They never like to get caught. So they move, and this class will know how to do that. And update. And then you got updates. That means, oh, we discovered a new way to infect computers. I need to update you. And it updates it. So, the interesting one was DDNS. When we released or we announced DDNS, one of the people who were very happy was the botnet group. Because now they get to change dynamically the IP address. Of course, the domain name remains the same, the IP address I get to change. Very fast. The updates are very fast. Usually the old-fashioned way, if you change a domain name, it takes about a day for the updates to happen. Right? So during that 1 day, people can't reach your domain. DDNS is very, very quick. IP addresses, maintenance, all this technical stuff, right? Basically, different ways, different methods. Those of you doing networks will know and will use these methods, coming up with new methods to stay connected all the time. Right? Botnets are a hybrid. They can propagate like worms. They can evade detections like viruses. And they can launch attacks. They have their own structural design, their own integrity control system. Very good software. Most of it written and then recompiled, assembled, and recompiled in assembly language. Right? The programmers then go in and look at it in assembly language to further optimize it. Why? They make the code really small. Really, really small. Okay. You want to hear stories? I'm going to tell you stories. Optimizing code. When I worked in the US, one of the companies I worked for was a company that built systems for the Voyager. The Voyager was a satellite that was sent. It's still roaming the world, somewhere in space, not cyberspace. I think last thing it did was take pictures of Pluto and send back. Okay. We built the computer systems that went into that satellite. That system, 64K of memory. How old are you? 20. 64K of memory. Have you heard of that? No, right? If father gave you something 64 meg also, you will go back again. What is this? I want 64 gig. 64K of memory. That's all we had. So when we wrote code for it, you wrote it, compiled it, you took it into assembly language, you did one more round of optimizing in assembly language, you took the assembly language, transferred it to machine language, you did one more round of optimizing in machine language. You look at the ones and zeros and optimize it again, and then only you put it on the system. Recently, there was, 2 weeks ago, I read an article. NASA still hasn't upgraded their systems. You know, they still keep a lot of their old systems. This was a discussion in the Senate recently. And the answer was actually the answer that was even given to us. By the time we were developing, you could actually get 128K. No more 64K. But they didn't want to change. And why don't you change? Say, a guy sitting at the back there, still not sleeping yet. That's good. Yeah. Why don't you change? Rana, why don't you change? Next guy. Don't answer. Where are you from? You look worried. Don't worry. We want to arrest you. Where are you from? You. Yeah. Yeah, but where are you from? Which country? Malaysia? Oh, Sri Lanka. Was it part of your money that got stolen? Right? You look very sad. I was wondering, hey, my money. Better check your account. Next guy. Where are you from? You Bangladesh. So that's why you're saying Bangladesh bank. You check your bank account. Your father works in a bank. Did you? No, okay. So as long as you all don't lose money, that's okay. The bank will lose money, right? Why do you not change the system? Why did they not change the system?
64K to 158, they need to change the whole system.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They can just change the memory banks.
But another reason is not fully updated. I mean, when you are going to use any system, is fully updated. So I think they transfer to 128. That time they need to change again.
Okay, so complicated answers like that, NASA doesn't like, right? The engineers cannot comprehend that. So what if you have uncomplicated engineers, what would you like? My food. Still okay. Sorry, yes. Complicated table. So the reason was very simple, and that was the reason given in the newspaper as well. If the system is working and it's not broken, why fix it? That was the answer given. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And you know, these are not mass production. You don't make 3,000 shuttles. You make 6 shuttles. Right? So they say, you don't change it, it works, we've tested it. First mission, crew went, came back, didn't explode, good job, keep it. Right? That's their mentality. And I've worked with the NASA engineers, they really like that. You know, they just like stability, things work, and they don't get into it. Right? They let the vendors handle everything. So this was the reason why it never changed. It works. It works for what it was created for. Maybe when we build a new shuttle with everything new, then they will design everything from scratch. That's their mentality, right? Okay, coming back to this. So the same thing these guys do. They make their code very, very small. That when it goes into your OS, it doesn't make a difference. You don't see suddenly, from 250 gig, you now have only 130 gig, 130 gig disappear. No. The entire code would be less than 2 to 3 meg. Very well written. So, bots are self-propagating, they self-live, they will try to infect as many other bots in their area. Right? They will use all known methods today out there to infect. These are some propagation methods. I won't go through all of this. Command and control mechanisms, centralized, peer-to-peer, unstructured. 3 ways. We don't say unstructured, now we say hybrid. So you have centralized, you have peer-to-peer, you have hybrid. Centralized means everything goes to one server. What's the problem with centralized? Easy to detect, single point of failure. If I take down your command and control server, all your botnets become mine. By the way, that happens. You know that. So one bot master, another bot master, I know of your bots, and I know the weakness, I take over your bots. Rather than trying to get another 1 million bots, I take over his, I got 1 million, I just hijack. Bots, kind of stupid, right? They don't know loyalty to the bot master. The computer doesn't say, oh, I've now changed, I shall commit suicide. No. As long as you command me, I am now loyal to you. Right? That's the way it works. So easy to detect, single point of failure. Peer-to-peer, it has a complex design, no guarantees. So this is a problem. You don't know if the message reached the other bot. If you got updates, you don't know if you reached it. You change location, you don't know if you reached it. So you tend to lose. A hybrid is actually quite good because one, the message is done, right? Although it's not guaranteed, it's actually a higher sense of guaranteeing in a way. And it does have a high latency, message latency. So each has their own good strengths and weaknesses. You decide when you design your own bot how you want it to work. Generally nowadays, most of them follow the hybrid method. These are bots in action, how they actually work. Now we'll talk a little more on this. This is a little bit more exciting to you. These are 4 examples. This is not exhaustive, but these are 4 generally the main examples of what you use a bot for. So now I have this bot, I have this army of computers infected. I need to do something with it, right? And I need to pay all my programmers, which means I need to make money. See, the keyword is money. What are you getting your degree for? You're getting your degree in computer science. Why? So you can do social work? No. Why? You love computers. But will you work for me for free? I give you a lot of computers. You love computers. No. What do you want to work for? Okay, I let you create all the new things. You work for me? I give you a lot of computers, a lot of things to create. What some more you want? Oh. Okay, now you see, now he says money. Right here, keyword money. Okay. 4. Spam, blackmail, theft, make money. Military. Okay, but those are the 4. Let's start with spam. This is one case where the US Federal Trade Commission actually got and they went after the guy. The thing was called Duga. They were spamming people. They caught them basically on sexually explicit commercial emails. It's hard to catch these people. It's hard to find a reason to catch them. Right? The laws are in place, but it's very hard to put the laws in place. And not only that, these people are around the globe. So Prof. Salapan is sitting there smiling, right? So he's got a server in the island of Tonga. And then he's got, he sends out, he's got this spam server sitting in Tonga sending out emails. Now let's say, what's your name? Kamal. Kamal is receiving all this spam. And Kamal goes to MC and lodges a complaint saying this mail in Tonga is sending. MC looks at it, what do you think they're going to do? By the way, MC is a regulator, right? They are the board that goes after this. You make a police report, police will send it to MC. Girls are sitting at the pay girls. Right? What do you all think MC is going to do? No, they won't arrest you for making the report. Although that does happen in sometimes. What do you think they're going to do? They'll say okay, and then they'll send an email to Tonga, right? Say, guys, please, you got this email server sitting in your domain. The domain is .tg. The server doesn't even sit there, right? The server, Prof. Salapan says, I like Bangkok. The server sits in Bangkok. The domain is .tg. So now the message goes to TG, Tonga. Tonga looks at it and says, but this IP is not ours. The server is sitting in Bangkok. Right? So two things. If they're interested, they send a mail to Bangkok. If not, they reply back to Malaysia saying, your problem. It's not sitting in our, only the domain, we sold them the domain, they pay us $100 every year to use our domain. And it's not illegal in Tonga to do spam. Finish. If he says that ends the case. Not illegal in Tonga, then fine. Right? And if you see, notice some of the streaming sites, you actually get .tg. Because I think it's not illegal to have a streaming site with a .tg. You actually see someone. So to take a case against someone is very difficult to build a case, and these guys managed to build a case basically eventually on relaying sexually explicit content, right? That's what they got them on. Probably they were doing a lot of other things, but they got them on that. Blackmail bot. Achievers blackmail bot, correct? 2006, a Trojan horse attacked files in Microsoft Windows. My documents, the files were then encrypted. Users couldn't access them without paying a ransom. So you pay money. You pay money, I give you the password, you can unlock it, you can use your files again. Assuming I encrypted every file in your notebook, how much will you pay? But you know that one that we just did, one minute. Your backup once a week, right? So how much you want to pay me? Okay, like cheap, offer you today got discount, 5,000 ringgit.
Like 20 encrypted for the retailer to do online banking. He asked for 2 Bitcoin. Bitcoin jumped from USD 300 to 1,002 within a period.
Okay, la, so 1,000, is it 2 Bitcoins? It's 2,004, 5,000 ringgit still cheaper? Give you 5,000 ringgit, bro? 1 or 2 1? But you don't know me, I got Tonga email address. What do you say? 5,000, you accept or don't accept?
I just say I already support.
Last month, a friend of mine's wife's company got hit by ransomware. Last month, multinational internet, they paid $500,000 US for the key. You want to pay cash? No work. Officer come say, boss, file all encrypted, can I go? Look, boss, file cannot open, email cannot open, can I go home? Or I can sit here, look at you, smile at you, all day cannot go work. So they calculated their cost, $500,000 US, not ringgit. Today's currency conversion, how much? 20,000, it's so cheap. Huh? 500,000 US dollars is how much in ringgit? 20,000 ringgit. I give you 20,000 ringgit, you give me 500,000 US dollars. I give you extra, I give you 200,000 ringgit, you give me 20,000. How much? 2 million. 2 million ringgit. I'm scared to even ask you how much in Bangladesh currency. 2 million ringgit. It's fast. Fast. Just send, encrypted. They were targeting that company. Got into that company, only encrypt that company's files. Nobody else, huh? You had it at home, it didn't do anything to you. Only encrypted that company's files. I don't know how they did it. I wasn't the case guy to go in and look at the case. Right? Paid the money. Connect. MNC, connect. I don't know whether it affected their headquarters files or not. 500,000. That's just one. So imagine that. So here we are talking about 2006. That is 10 years ago. I'm talking of 2 months ago. Dutch botnet case, spam, blackmail. So what happened was the Dutch police arrested 3 men, basically suspected of large-scale hijacking or hacking. The botnets played a major role in numerous cybercrimes, including phishing, identity fraud, online extortion. Building cases against people like this takes time. Extremely difficult, it takes time. Right? It's real work. And then you are lucky if it do something that allows you to make the arrest. Most of it will be servers which are not sitting in your country. The guy may be doing it from your country, but he'll be sitting on a server that's outside the country. Right? Malaysian law requires you to bring proof. You have to bring the server and show the judge server. Judge won't know, judge won't care also. Okay. Yeah. Military bots are interesting. So military bots are those who are used by military organizations naturally around the world, governments, right, to attack others. So every government will deny having a bot. What's a bot? Never heard of it. Bot sounds like my dog's name. I don't know. I said, oh, bot. No bot here. Right? China, India, US, Russia, all of them have their own bots. So as I said, while the others make money, this one pay money. You know how government pays money. So they pay money to make their bots. Estonian case is an interesting case. I have an entire file on it. Lots of my students do research on the Estonian case. It's really, really interesting, but I won't get into it at this talk because it's very detailed. I'll cut it short. I'll give you a 5-minute brief on that. Estonia was considered the most connected country in Europe. Most connected. Amazing, huh? Europe, little Russian Federation country, most connected. Everything E. You do e-payment, you do e-banking, you do e-file, everything E. What happened? 2007, they wanted to move a statue. That statue was a World War II statue. The Russians had built the statue. It was in commemoration of the fallen soldiers. Estonian government said, we want to move it. We don't want it in the square anymore. Russians felt insulted. They felt this is something that we shouldn't do. Government was decided to move it. The Russians, mafia, and everyone else attacked Estonia virtually. In the 1 week, and the attacks, most of the attacks were not from Russia. Most of it from when we did the systematic diagram of the connectivity diagram, Vietnam. The attacks came from Vietnam, Malaysia, Africa, Europe, China had some, Poland, every other country. So blocking Russian IPs didn't work because the attacks were not from Russia. It was from all the botnets around the world that these guys controlled. There was a lot more to the attack. It's very, as I said, very interesting. One example is they sent so much emails to the president's email and everybody else in the cabinet's email that all the email boxes flooded and crashed. Right? And remember, your mobile phone is also connected to the internet. I'm not talking of surfing the net. When you make a call, if your bills can be seen online, your billing system is online. If your billing system goes down, it makes you stop making calls because I can't bill you anymore. So your mobile system goes down. I cannot call you. So everything in that country went down. What's even more interesting, at that particular week when the incident happened, IETF. Who knows what IETF stands for? Okay. Then you put up your hand. What's IETF? Your Internet Engineering Task Force happened to hold their biannual meeting there in Estonia. Internet Engineering Task Force is the guys who sit around developing rules, regulations, protocols on the internet. They basically are the scientists behind the internet, right? Okay, so they were there. And they were called by the Estonian government to help. Couldn't do a thing. Couldn't do anything. Nothing you can do. What do you want to do? So finally they called NATO. What is NATO? My son asked me that question 2 days ago. Right now, what is NATO? How many of you know what NATO stands for? We all know what they are, but nobody thinks, what does it stand for? Yeah, very good comment. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Basically what it says is, if you attack one of our countries, we'll all come and defend them. Right? So they call NATO. They said, hey, you're a member, come defend us. NATO came in, looked at it and said, no problem, we'll solve it for you. And they solved it. In one day they solved it. Who can tell me what did they do to solve it? Girl at the back. Shake your head, ready. Next one. All the admin girls. Next one. Hopping. No. Who can that? If you tell me how they solved it, I will give you. I didn't bring my t-shirts to give you. I will give you tea. Now I know the story already. He said me tell this before. Right? They basically disconnected the country from the internet. Finish. End of story, right? Internet attack, you disconnect. They physically disconnected Estonia from the rest of the world in 2007 for almost 2 weeks. Nothing could stop the attack. Much better than launching, missiles and bombs. Right? I asked them about any brain, they would start doing everything that way. That's a dangerous thing. Right?
Yeah, there was one case where the Secretary of State for America said anyone who attacks our critical infrastructure, we will nuke them. His officer will come back to him and say, shut up.
Yeah, we've got very intelligent people making very intelligent statements around the world. We do forgive them, but yeah. So, nothing, couldn't do anything. Disconnect. It's a really good, really interesting case study. If you all are interested, I have the PowerPoints on it. I can email it to you or give it to you. Tibetan case is also interesting. Tibetan case, I had to remove that entire slide when I presented this in China. Okay. The Tibetan case was basically the Chinese government trying to track down people who were supporting the Tibetan cause. It's not very difficult to figure this one out, right? They got someone, Kamal. See, Kamal is an unknown individual. Kamal is a fundraiser. He's a good guy, right? So I come to Kamal and say, Kamal, I want to donate 2 million to the Tibetan cause. But I don't want to be known. I want to do it anonymously. And Kamal is a fundraiser for the Tibetan cause, right? Kamal says, yes, good, for 2 million. Emails the Tibetan guys. Tibetan guys say, oh, good. Send information. So then I send Kamal an email, right, with a Word file with all details on how to do the transaction. Kamal forwards it to all the Tibetan guys. All the Tibetan guys open it. Kamal is a trusted party. Kamal is sending you a contract for 2 million. Open. They read the contract. Very good, very good. 2 million given money. Finish, end of story, right? No? What happened? What happened? Hey, no, money went. See, Tibetan not smile, money, 2 million cash. No donation, not donation, 2 million donation, but went there, right? What happened? In the contract file that I sent him, the Word file I sent him, there was an infection, initial infection. He forwarded to you, all of you opened it. All of your PCs were infected. It is not, the reason we categorize it as military bot, to me it is a military thing. But really it was information theft. What it did then, it actually got me information on their computers and sent me the information. From there, I found out who was supporting the Tibetan cause. This is what the Chinese government wanted. Later, when it was discovered, the Chinese government denied all knowledge of its existence. Because they're not going to say, oh, we created it. But it leaked. And all those, I think the people were threatened and a lot of other things were happening. Okay? Information theft bot. This one is good. Send information, steal information. Lots of ways, lots of things. You all going to do, right? Just basically stealing information. Send the bot sits on your computer. Every time you type your user ID and password to your PayPal, send it to me. And now you want to see what is better? I have one. Where is it? Take a look. This is live. Huh? We actually captured this from the internet, right? And this was given by Symantec. So the other one we captured live from the internet. Look at the prices. So your PayPal account, where is that? They have one PayPal. Verified PayPal account is only worth 50 ringgit. Your US-based credit card with verification for money in there, $1 to $6. UK one is $2 to $12, a little bit costlier. By the way, if you look at the last one, World of Warcraft account was $10. Your credit card is $1, your World of Warcraft account is $10. So you know immediately that this guy is a gamer. So you do profiling, right? Immediately we look at it and we say this guy is profiled as a gamer. He gives gaming more value than a credit card. Chandra is not much of a credit card user himself, and he's of a younger generation. Okay, so one of the things we do profiling. We actually get the information, we look at the type of person he is from the data we get from him. This is the actual cost of what they were doing and what they were selling online. These were a lot more stories, interesting stories. Akamai attack. Root servers attack was a bad one. This was really bad. That happened. And then no one noticed. Ultra DNS, UUNet, DDoS, or higher extortion. So you could actually, by the way, you can go online and hire bots. Right? Dr. What do you think? No wonder UM server went down. Right? You don't like somebody's company, 1 hour you whack the company's internet. Right? Banking. Let me tell you all stories of banking. You think our banks don't come under attacks? You're a bank manager, right? You're the IT head of the bank. Hold on, let me check the time. Okay, I got to go. Bank story, very fast. IT head, send him email, threaten him. IT head says, who are you? I don't care for you, right? Then bullshit me. Then he said, tomorrow 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I won't say I will attack you. I'm sending you the mail. I am a professor in the field of internet security. I know that a group of people are going to attack your server. I heard rumors, just to let you know. If you want my help, communicate with me. He said this one, that case. Okay. 3 o'clock, next day, the server goes down. DDoS attack, botnets, whack the server. It's not difficult to do it. Just take the first page, grab your first page, your web page. 10,000 can still survive, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 grabbing the first page, 1 million grabbing your servers down. Right? Okay. Second day, send you email. Hey, I heard your site was attacked. By the way, I heard in 2 more days again you're going to get attacked. Anyway, if you need my help, call me lah. Here's my number. Hero, in the meantime, got his call from his boss. CIMB Tauke called him and says, why are my servers not working today? I wanted to send money to my wife in London. She cannot get money. Can you explain? He cannot explain. And he says, boss, people attack the server. I hire you as IT manager, what are you doing? Which university you come from? Don't want to hire people from there. So immediately he says, no, boss, I take care of it. Leave, I look after. Okay, boss, you enjoy your holiday in London. Okay. Second time I email him, you think he'll throw the email away? Hey, Prof. Suresh, come. How much you charge them? 100,000 per consultation. Why so much? Okay, they might get attacked. Per attack on a bank, 1 hour, CIMB, how much do you think they lose? At peak time. If I cannot do it, CIMB clicks, it goes down for 1 hour. You're looking at 100, 200, possibly I think 20 to 30 million would transact. You're looking at that much losses. Right? So again, I tell him, look, 100,000. Okay, to cut the story short, he'll make a deal with me, I'll come in, I'll help him, I'll stop the botnet attacks, I made 100,000. But guess what? He's also smart. He said, contract means you must also help me from being attacked by other botnets. Right or not? You say, okay, I pay you as consultant. This one 1 year contract. You better make sure nobody else attacks me. That's the difficult part. But things like this happen all the time. The banks do not release it because the last thing you want to do is report such a thing to the police. Why? So today, he just found out the Bangladesh bank lost 30 million. You think he's going to go put money there or he's going to take out his money? Right? You're going to all take out money. The moment CIMB announces, oh yeah, we have launched the police investigation into this case, everybody will withdraw their money. So, again, you calculate your losses as opposed to the amount you're going to pay. You settle. Okay. I have another appointment in town at 4 o'clock. So with this, I'm going to end my talk. There's a lot more I can talk, but for today, that's it. So for those of you who want some additional files, you can communicate with me. I'll get it to you. Thank you.
Do you have the latest update on the hacking team? The hacking team.
One of my ex-students is actually on the team. One of my ex-students is on the team that we hired to look at this. Yeah, they're foreign multinational companies actually looking into. They analyze the whole thing. Still doing it. He was in the Philippines all of last week.
Thank you, Dr. so much, bro, for the amazing presentation, and I hope everybody enjoyed so far. And please stay with us. We provided a really small selection for you. I would like to invite
Can I ask a layman's question?
okay.
Is money safe in the bank?
Well, your money is protected by the government. So, if anything happens to it, the government can. The bank is not. Between the bank and the government, you as a person should be money on your side.
So anyone has any question, we are waiting for our president to come and to deliver this responsibility. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to invite our president, Professor Dr. Prem Kumar, to join us, and also Professor Dr. We already provided a very small souvenir just to let you to remember this day being with us. This time with our postgraduate students and other colleagues of MUST. I'm a bit jealous about the students who are doing the PhD in IT department now. We have two well-known and distinguished professors, Professor Salapan and Professor Sureshwaran, and you can enjoy from the expertise in your research. So if you let me, I would like to invite our president, Professor Dr. Prem Kumar, to join us to deliver this small souvenir to our Professor Sureshwaran.
Before that, let me say a few words to Prof. Suresh. So for the students, I'm sure you would have enjoyed the session with Prof. Suresh. It's not easy to get high-profile people coming over here because high-profile people, they rather prefer to do something more worthy thing. And not many people are really inclined to look for academic progression and support others towards the path of academic world. Not many. Because it's a high commitment. In the academic world, you don't see the money. You don't see the value. But it's just a matter of sharing. And not many would like to endure into this initiative. So on that note, I really thank Prof. Suresh. Indeed, I made a call at the last meeting to him. And then I said, hey, Prof, can you please help me out? And without any second thought, he said, okay, no problem. I'll wait for you, break. So, and I think the biography, Dr. Reza would have taken you all through. Let me just tell you something about this gentleman here. He may sound simple, seated here right in front of us, but he's a very high, not a profile, but a high intelligent individual. And the contribution that he has given to the academic world is just beyond borders. It's just beyond Malaysia, and which is a developed nation, like Germany. Sometimes I call him, say, right? He said, I'm in Germany. Where you from? I'm now in Japan. Okay. So he has crossed borders and he has gone across continent and he has delivered our things. And of course, when you talk about IT and so on, you talk about patents, you talk about rights, you talk about copyrights. So I think he has got about 9 or 14 patents. It's not easy. Me, I'm in the academic world until now, I don't even have 1 patent. So he has got 9 patents. So it's not easy. And today he's here right in front of you and sharing his experience. Okay. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the youngest dean in school of IT in USM, in the public university setting. At a very young age, he became a dean and he was a full professor. So all those are very not easy in the public setting. So he got it. Now, for Malaysia University of Science and Technology, our mission is to get him into the academic circle. That is, basically, we are looking at him to support our PhD. Okay. And last week, Senate, we already appointed him as to be our professor in the university. So he is now with us. So thank you, Prof, for accepting. Okay, so it's now with us. And now officially, our PhD students, you can take up your research, especially those IT. You can get this advice over the email and so on. You can get this advice. Okay. So we are building this kind of profile, And this morning you would have heard the talk from AD. Another high-profile guy. He was my first manager in Intel. He interviewed me, and then I got the job in Intel because of him. Got my first manager in Intel, and that was with 1996. Okay, my first manager in Intel. So with him, I learned in Intel, and then finally I took over his position, and he went for other jobs and so on. Okay. So AD is another profile, and we are planning also to put appoint AD Prof with the Senate's approval. We are planning to appoint AD Ram as to be our adjunct lecturer. Okay, and he told me just now, he said, Prem, I have 2 years more to clock. Then after that, I'll come in as a full-time faculty with you. So AD will be another faculty member for us. Okay? And all these are actually to enrich our PhD. As Malaysia University of Science and Technology, we established with the assistance of MIT and highly focusing on postgraduate studies. Yes, we have the undergraduate, but that is just to make up the volume, that's it. When you are in a product environment, right, you have to have certain number of products to get the volume out, to meet the economics of scale, right? Then apart from that, you have premium products, right, where you are highly focused. So it's like that. So the undergraduate is just to make the numbers, set the capacity cap right. But postgraduate, this is the really, high-end things that we are focusing very highly. Research University by the year 2018. That's our goal. Malaysia University of Science, we will be a research university, and we will be the first private university, private government-related university in the research circle of the university. As you can see, even this morning I was an examiner for PhD in another university. Well, they are very prominent university, but when it comes to number of PhD students, we have the most. We are small, but we have got total about 70 students in PhD with us. As you compare to any other private universities, across the board, Taylor, Sunday, I think we are one of the highest numbers. Maybe Prof, you can confirm that you have been an examiner for many PhD students. Okay, yeah. So our focus is that we want to strengthen ourselves in our PhD and Masters, MSc. MSc, these two. We really want to get it out so that looking at the university ranking, the QS ranking, the Times Higher Education, and the Shanghai ranking and all, you see the way to look at it is the ratio between the PG and the UG. One of the key indicators for ranking of universities in the world, they look at the ratio between the undergraduate and the postgraduate. Okay? If you look at Harvard University, the postgraduate is 60% versus the undergraduate 40%. And MIT is about 54%. Okay? Technology, we want to have at least 40% by the year 2018. And I think with the support of all these people, gentlemen here, we'll be able to do it. And I myself also trying very, very hard. And my field is different. My field is business. So I don't have patents to clock. I don't have patents to clock like here. But I have other ways to really build the profiling that is by research publications in high-end journals. And I always keep telling this to our administrators. Those faculty members who are administrators like Dr. Harvey and all, right? You guys, some of you are doing dean's job, upper staff, and the rest, right? Even though we are administrators of the university, but don't forget, our core is still academician. So for academician, you have to publish. Okay, so no choice. Even I've just submitted a paper, accepted. In September, I'm getting a paper in Scopus. So I've got no choice. Even though I can be the VC of the university, but I still have to go. Otherwise, I cannot be an examiner for PhD. They will tell me, you're outdated. Your outputs are all outdated. So please be reminded, all the faculty members who already got PhD, you're still not exempted. You cannot come to a point saying, hey, I'm done. Enough is enough for me. There's no enough and enough for me. Okay? So you can ask for Sal and Suresh. They are people here. Okay? Now, with that note, once again, I would like to thank Prof. Suresh and his team, okay, and also Nawa. Can you just rise, please? Yeah. That's Mr. Nawa, assistant to Prof. Suresh, and he's another research fellow who's closely working with Prof. Suresh. I'm not too sure, maybe 8 years or 10 years. I know he's always with Prof. Suresh, working on the lab. So for those IT areas, you may, if you can't get Prof. Suresh, you please hook on to Mr. Nawa. Okay, so he can also help you through the research and so on. Okay, and also to thank Dr. Bang here, Dr. Bang, who is with the Malaysia Institute of Science and Technology for the past couple of years. I think 1.5 years into this. Okay, and he's also supporting us through the building up the PhD for us. He's really working very hard to build the PhD profiling for our university. Okay, Bucks is not here. Bucks, okay, Bucks is here. Okay, with that, thank you, Prof, and the rest of you, thank you for your attention. And you got one more day to go. That's tomorrow. And I think the agenda for tomorrow is also lined up, right? Do I have a slot? Oh, I've got a slot. Okay, I got one more slot. So you're unfortunate. You have to listen to me tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Kumar. And if you let me, I would like to invite Professor Prem and also Professor Steve to come and. Okay, everybody, please. I'm waiting for your clapping as well. Okay, thank you very much. Please stay with us. We have 2 more presentations today to wrap up today's session as well. And you are here to ask for them. You can. You and Luis. Okay. Mr. Kamal is suggesting to have 5 minutes break and we'll come back.
Okay, I'll do the discussion. I'll do the discussion. You tell me what you really demand and he's highly searched for all using on the pinching. Observation here, Google is where you go. You have a soft copy of it? Yeah. Yeah. You can it's about reading. I do read. So now in business you got me. So we can jump together. Huh? Okay. Hi. So how are you doing? Oh, okay. I'll see you after 5. Is it okay? After 5, I see you. After 5. And yep. Okay. So 5 days. So can I see you after this? After 5? Yeah, then I see you. Okay. Hi.
I
Okay, friends, good afternoon again. I would like to invite all of you, please join us, and we continue two more presentation for today session. And I know we have very fruitful day today, and lots of things to learn and to discuss, and even to question. And I believe you've learned a lot. So let's help each other to also wrap up the session properly. We have two more presentations. Mr. Luis is drinking his coffee. I give him a few minutes to finish his drink. Okay, very good. Please welcome Mr. Luis, and we are ready to hear what he prepared for us today.
Hi, very good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for giving this session to share with you what I have done, okay, for my PhD research, and of course some facts, which is quite interesting for me to raise to you guys, okay, during my literature review. All right. The topic that I'm going to present my research paper is the topic of my research paper is the effect of GST introduction and administration, evident from higher education industry in Malaysia. So the word of higher education industry here, inclusive of private and of course to the public sector. All right. So what I've done so far, I'm actually still in progress of refining all my research, the first phase and second phase. Okay, I'm refining DV, IV, MV, hypothesis, refining hypothesis, refining my research objective, refining my research question, so refining my methodology, and I'm in the process of creating questionnaire to collect primary data. And of course, throughout this period, I have mined some secondary data from government department, like Department of Statistics, MOF, Ministry of Finance. It is very helpful. But however, some of the information is not so transparent. Okay, so I have to do my own calculation as well with the hard text data. All right. So later I show it to you. Where am I? Next thing is, of course, within these few months, I'm improving my introductions. Okay, they have introduction and so on. That's the first part of it I've done. And of course, improving and enhance my literature review. Okay, this is the progress report. So many words. I'm not going to read because you're going to fall asleep. Thank you. Okay. First of all, a lot of people don't know. Still, a lot of people still quite blur. and they don't know what's about GST. I think for India, GST has done quite well, to be honest, they very well. Okay, they have two categories of GST actually. Okay, and GST is not something new because they have other name called VAT. All the orange color are those countries implementing GST or VAT. Okay, so which is very highly recommended, encouraged by OECD. So next thing is what is the changes in Malaysia? The Malaysia actually we have SSD. Now we abolish SSD. SSD is sales and service tax. We have abolished, and now totally replaced by GST. Next thing, I'm not going to read, okay, because this is very technical. Okay, I don't think so. You guys want to listen, so I go for next. Now, but you have to know this before I proceed, because or else nobody will know or understand what I'm talking about. So basically, GST, right, in Malaysia, we have four main categories. The first one is standard rated, second zero rated, exempted, and mixed supply. The standard rated is 6%, which means you have to charge your customer 6%. And whatever you pay, you can claim back the 6% as well, because people charge you 6%, you charge customer 6%. Okay, clear? So when you charge customer 6%, you have to give it to government. Whatever people charge you 6%, you can claim back from government. Okay, you got clear? Okay, so you charge people, you pay to government. People charge you, you claim from government. This is standard rated. All right. Zero rated will be different in the way of you do not charge your customer. If somebody charge your you do not charge your customer. Okay, so you do not collect tax. You pay nothing to the government. If someone charge you GST, you can claim back. Okay, they are different. Okay, so exempted supply is no, nothing. You cannot charge customer. If people or someone charge you, there's a problem here. You cannot claim back. Okay, and unfortunately, higher education industry is under this category. Now, what I'm trying to say is, we cannot charge students. So I think MUSD do not charge GST, yeah? It's illegal, okay? So we cannot charge government. But however, whatever expenses incurred by MUSD University example are not allowed to claim back, which means Malaysia higher education have to bear all the cost of GST incurred. And that's the problem one. Okay, yeah? So let's move on. Mixed supply means combination of these two. Okay, there we go. So why GST? Okay, why GST? Of course, GST will avoid cascading impact. It means double tax impact. Next thing, of course, the purpose. I think the main purpose of government to implement GST is to reduce tax avoidance and evasion. Okay, because GST is very transparent. All right. Next thing, reduce reliance on direct tax. Example like corporate tax. Okay, personal income tax. They try to reduce it. Reduce reliance on petroleum. Okay. The government reduce reliance on petroleum, but something I have discovered from the government. Later I show you the data. Okay. So next thing. Okay, to overcome the budget deficit, I think everyone know what is the balance. Okay, fiscal balance of Malaysia, and of course they try to eliminate all the subsidies. Okay, and the government also think that with GST is supposed to lower the cost of doing business. Okay, then. Equality tax regime, it means everyone equal tax, because you and I, we pay same tax. Whether you are richer than me or I'm richer than you, we still pay 6% tax. Okay, enhance export and greater transparency. Okay. Now, The problem statement is the government have shared with us all the goodness of the GST. However, I believe that everything have to strike a balance. Everything have pro and con. Am I right? Everything has pro and con. But the government only share everything positive thing about the GST. So it seems like have blind us on the negative impact of the GST. Okay, there must be some impact, negative impact. Now, this negative impact is important for corporate governance, for business owner, because it is a risk area that we have to highlight and to take proactive action to overcome it before it materializes. Am I right? Okay, so this is the area, maybe so much question why in the website of GST, government, sorry, I mentioned that no video, no video. Okay, now, yes, in the website of GST, it only announced all the positive effects, but actually, this made me have a lot of question mark. Okay, so my study, let's continue, yeah. Okay. Now, the research objective. Okay, of course, to perform empirical analysis review on pre and post of GST. Okay, pre and post of GST implementation to confirm whether GST tax regime, the new tax regime, lowering the cost of doing business in higher education. So for your information, I'm working in higher education. Okay, so I want to know whether the GST has impact over my industry or not. Okay. Now, next thing is, but just want to recall you what I have, emphasized is higher education is under an exempted supply. The word of exempted supply means you do not charge your customer GST, and whatever you incur GST, you cannot claim back. But the word of lowering the cost of doing business isn't sound fishy because you have to absorb all the costs, am I right? But how come the government declare that GST actually, lowering the cost of doing the business? Am I right? There's some conflict between these two, am I right, huh? Now, there are more. To analyze the performance of higher education industry post-GST implementation in the field of profitability and liquidity. Because I'm an accountant, so I want to know what is the impact of GST toward our profit and of course our liquid. The liquid, for information, is talking about cash. Okay, cash. All right. So next thing. Okay. Well, will GST? Okay, sorry. Will GST? Okay. Now, will GST? Okay, result in Malaysia higher education provider becoming more competitive? It will make higher education more competitive or not? Okay, I want to check. And next thing, to investigate reaction of higher education. Okay, how they overcome the GST burden. Okay, these are the few things. Then, of course, I want to assess the impact of GST forward cost of living of Malaysian. Now, for your information, okay, I mean, we as Malaysian, we know that certain minor group of people, okay, they are not rich, okay, and because of, poor income condition, they cannot continue their study. So with these factor, okay, the real life case I observed, this really cause the reduction of performance, I mean intake of this group of students. Let's move on. Now, so from the question, so from the objective I have, I developed my question. Okay, so these are all the questions. Okay, I'm not going to read out, but more important, I develop it. Am I right? Huh? So let's go. Then this is significance of study. Okay, I'm not going to read also significant study. More important is this study is to address risk area, okay, and enhance corporate governance of higher education provider. All right, okay. Next thing is this result of the research should provide certain useful information for authority. Okay, so we go on. Potential limitation, yes, because I'm dealing with something money, it could be very sensitive and the colleges may not be cooperative to share their information with me. Okay, so these are the things. All right. Theoretical foundation, I'm not going to read one by one. This is my independent variable, moderator, and dependent variable. And I have a lot of independent variable. Okay, and I found some lecturer, he gave me advice, say, Louis, you give so much of independent variable, isn't it you have to develop all the hypotheses? And I'm so fortunate, not unfortunate, but I'm so fortunate that today I met someone, Dr. Ray, I said, no, you should develop hypotheses based on objective. So I converted everything and made my life really easier. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I based on these objective, yes. Then I come out hypothesis. Okay. I think I'm clearer. Okay. So let's see. You were refining, as I mentioned. You were refining and refining and refining again. Okay. So these are the hypotheses. Okay. I'm not going to read everything. Okay, hypothesis, because more important, you want to see what is my progress, am I right? So the interesting fact that I have discovered, I'm going to share with you by later. Okay, so existing literature review, please. So yes, example lah, author, year, topic, research objective, dependent variable, research method, finding, and the suggested future research. These are the format given by MUST University. And this is sample in my literature review because I'm in the middle of doing my literature review as well. Okay, supported by who and who and who and so on. And I found Dr. Mahfoud also gave me a very precious idea. He said that literature review is about the critical thinking or critical analysis, okay, of the piece of the research that you are doing. So which means it doesn't mean you have to go one direction. Like example, you say yes, yes, yes. Somebody say yes, yes, everything yes. Because certain researcher may have conflict idea over the literature review, and we're supposed to put it as well. Okay, because this area is to test our critical analysis. All right, so let's move on. Then how I record my please correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Hisa, okay. Okay, and everyone as well, my classmate. And how I record my reference, I use APA style. Okay, don't APA style, APA, okay, the APA American something like, okay, they have the APA style. So, I'm not going to read. Okay, this is something that I have discovered, okay, from this book called Estimate of Federal Government Revenue 2015 and 2016. Okay, now just like I mentioned that the government said they introduced GST because to overcome, to reduce the reliance on the petrol. Am I right? So let's see. This I find, this is under book of 2014, okay, 2015, and today is 2016, am I right? Now this book 2014, you can see, okay, you can see that in 2014, although 2012, government has suggested GST, but 2014, the GST figure seems like it's not appearing yet. Let me see. Petroleum. What I want to say is petroleum. You see petroleum, the figure are almost same. 28 million and 25 million are almost same, right? In year 2014 book, government book. When you go to book 2015, you can Petroleum 2015, our petrol price go down, American strip go down, okay, dramatically. And you can see they changed the record immediately to 9529. Okay, which is mean, what I'm trying to tell you is the government is very lucky. The price strip, okay, from petroleum. Okay, but luckily GST come in, it cover all the issue. Imagine if GST is not implemented, today Malaysia will be a deep trouble. Really a deep trouble. I count it's about 27 billion deficit. Okay, it's a deep trouble. So this deficit, you can see all these things purple color are deficit. Every quarter making deficit affect this year 11 quarter 2. Alright, okay. Next thing is, I also found that GST is a regressive tax, not a progressive tax. Which is mean, you and I, we are paying 6%, am I right, of GST. Even though I'm richer or someone poorer, but doesn't mean rich people have to spend like rich people. They go low profile, they go budget, am I right? They don't spend very high. Another word means the 6% that I pay and that poor guy pay, poor, I mean in terms of income, what they pay, proportionally, I pay lower tax in terms of percentage, am I right? I thought that tax supposed to be progressive and equality, which means rich people should pay higher tax, poor people pay lower tax. But GST do not play this function in all cases. Alright? Okay? So these are the things. Okay, do not promote equality. Okay? Yeah. Okay, this one done. Yeah. Well, exempted supply is not the favorite one. The best of these 4 categories, the most favorite is zero rated. Why? You do not charge customer, somebody charge you, you claim back GST. But under higher education, you do not charge customer, people charge you GST, you cannot claim back. You got it clear? That's a problem. Now, and they say, no inflation. GST will not cause inflation. I have a big question mark. Why? If I bear all the costs, if I do not increase the price, how would I be able to survive? Am I right? Okay, so this brings me a big question mark, and it's one objective in my research as well. And yeah, a lot I'm not going to read out. Just wanted to share with you, this is the data extracted from government department. And you can see the calculation here. The GST, because GST is year 2015, implemented in the year of 2015, is only increase of 2.1%. Okay, he said that way, so we have to check it out. Okay, I don't know how to collect data. I'm going to ask Dr. Rita, Prime Kumar, and Mahfoud. Okay, how to collect data. So yes, okay. So this is the CPI, general CPI. Higher education industry is this area. What is CPI? CPI is Consumer Price Index. Okay, it depends on price. The higher the price, the CPI will increase. Okay, now, if you look at general point of view, the CPI is red color, higher education is in this color, food is in this color, red color. Now, what I'm trying to say is, the CPI increase is due to food, transportation, not because from colleges or other non-food factor, other services factor. You got it clear, huh? Okay, So I think government should take proactive action, wash up the price of the food instead. because this is a major cause to cause our CPI increase. Okay. Then the GST, you can see the pink color is from education industry. The blue color is the general CPI. And I have a question is, although this chart is only 3 years, but this line of education line, you see, is goes straightforward like this. They do not bend, they do not increase. And logically think, it is not possible, am I right? It should be banned somehow. You know, every class should ban, you know, it should change, you know, when the trend change or fiscal policy, they should change, am I right? But I found out it's totally straight parallel. This is something that I also found something fishy. Alright, okay, so okay, let's go. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna read this. And now, double pressure cause trouble. Okay, is one of my research question objective as well. Just want to share with you what is facing by higher education in Malaysia. Recently, the PCTN loan to students has reduced 15% or more, or lesser, which means the loan, you know, is lesser. Next thing, the federal government cut budget 2.4 million. Okay, to higher education, cut. I mean the higher education budget down, okay, reduced. CPI increase, inflation increase, loan cut, budget cut. How the college able to manage the pressure and what is the strategy overcome it? That's why this thing, right, is this question also under my research objective. I know if I'm going to have problem in gather this information, maybe interview. Okay, interview or case study will be very helpful. All right, so let's go. And I also, the most worried part is research found the guy called Spirio, okay, found that there is a correlation between inflation and under economic activity. Under economic activity means performing tax avoidance or performing tax evasion. So the inflation go up, in order to survive, they have to perform such way. All right, okay? Okay, no time to share already, I know, Dr. Hazen can look at me. So yeah, the defining my methodology, I'm not going to read this. These are the information I should gather from. I should gather information for IMS, Income Tax Department, RNCD, Royal Custom, Ministry of Finance, MOHE, Department of Statistics. So I'm going to set up my questionnaire, complete my questionnaire. I try to set up my questionnaire in the quantitative measurement way. If I can't, I have to go for qualitative, okay, like subjective and kind of stuff. And this is my plan B. If they do not provide me information, as I mentioned, maybe certain information, I have to go for interview. Interview or, you know, group study, you know, between all the experts. All right. Okay, methodology. These are the format. Okay, the format. Okay, of my questionnaire. So let me see. This is yes. I developed my question that way. Nobody taught me, but I found certain research paper is done quite well, especially this area. Number of questions, general information that I have to collect, and what are the specific questions, and what is the proposed questionnaire. I've used the word proposed, the reason behind I haven't approved by my supervisor yet. And the mood of the question will be subjective or objective. If objective, I put yes, no, or maybe objective 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. Okay, and then the rationale of this question. Okay, what I want to ask to make sure that the question I ask is always useful and to support, okay, my research. Okay, these are the things. It's about 2 pages. Okay, 2 pages. There are more. Like these also have. Okay. More, a lot of questions. Need to filter. So what next? The next is I have to refine again my research model, refine again my methodology, because I believe that after this, my supervisor said, okay, you have to change this, change that, before I approve you and so on. Continue my literature review, continue developing my questionnaire, and of course, need a lot of information from my supervisor as well. I think that's all about. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Hello.
So can you show me your discovered truth light? Which one? Discovered truth. This color two.
You want to know the calculation again?
Yes. Here you mentioned the GST is the regressive but not the progressive. Okay, so the Malaysia, they have the lots of the international investors, they are invested here. And the lots of the students also came here, and lots of the visitors also came here. Okay, so they are provide and the same thing, the GST. So, what the reason do you think that is not the progressive for the GST for Malaysian government?
Why it's not progressive?
Yes.
Okay, I'm still confirming what has been done in India. They have two GST. They have two GST. Okay, but I'm not really study well on this yet. I cannot confirm anything. But I believe that the government should separate into two GST in a way of depend on goods. On good, like example, luxury good, better quality of good, maybe they should impose higher GST. And this will harmonize it. This is for my thinking because this is a case of study in India as well. But I cannot confirm anything, I have to check more detail. But however, why I did mention here regressive is GST is at the rate of 6% and it do not fluctuate according to the product. Like example, rich people, maybe they are more health conscious, they will buy or to consume something more quality. Okay, I mean something better or branded thing. And for my suggestion is, they're supposed to implement higher GST on it. But at this moment, the government still fix it at 6%. Thank you. And any other question? I'm getting pressure now. If you have no question, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a very long presentation. Normally it takes 15 minutes to 20 minutes, but since we spent a lot, we had many things to share with you. That's appreciable. And I would like to ask him for the official presentation, 15 minutes. So just I compress everything in 15 minutes. And because after 15 minutes, people they feel a bit sleepy and they are going to somewhere else. And we have the last presentation, and the presenter is Ms. Vicky, our faculty member in logistics program. I would like to invite her. Please also welcome her. Thank you so much. She is also doing her PhD in management under the School of Business.
Hello, a very good evening to everyone. My name is Vigneshwari. I'm doing my PhD to a topic of the humanitarian relief supply chain, empirical evidence from Malaysian natural disaster. Okay. I believe basically all of you have some idea about my topic. Okay, the introduction. Okay, today's world is very vulnerable to two things. One is a man-made disaster, another one is natural disaster. So what is man-made natural disaster? Anyone? Any idea? Natural disaster. Natural. Caused by God, okay? It's like earthquake, flood, tsunami is one of the example. And when we talk about man-made crisis, any idea? It's happening in the world right now, everywhere. Terrorism, okay, and other things like bombs and things like that. And according to the, and also some political issues, okay. And according to Chris Huber, 2015, it's about 150 major natural disasters affected millions of people in the year of 2015 itself. Just in 1 year, 150 major natural disasters. It's quite huge. And of course, in Asia, recently last year, there's a two big thing happened, natural disaster. One is the Nepal earthquake in 2015. Another one is Chennai flood, which is in 2015, December 2015. And basically, these two happened to the country. There's one thing that actually affects most of the people in the world is tsunami 2004. Okay? Tsunami 2004, how many countries affected? Most of the East Malaysia countries are affected because of tsunami. And it's the Indonesia was badly affected, followed by Sri Lanka, then Thailand, and of course India. Okay. Let me check. Anyone know how many people are affected because of tsunami? Sure, she's right. 5 million people affected. 1.7 million people were made as homeless. And how many people killed? 230,000 people killed just in one major disaster. Okay, what happened during that time? Logistics applied to disaster has received increasing interest from both the industry, researcher, and also practitioner. Okay? And also, the tsunami provided evidence that the effectiveness of the emergency aid response in some logistics speeds and efficiency, whereby it's also increasing the awareness of the crucial role of logistics in humanitarian relief operation. Why it is so? It's because of the supplies that needed for the relief activities. It's not from the affected country alone. It's also from the other part of the world. Many countries actually put hands together, and then they started to send most of the supplies to all the affected countries. Actually, I have another slide, but it's not updated. Basically, there are three things people are spending money during three major things that people are spending money during the disaster. One, it's food. This is the third one actually. The first one is the coordinations and coordinations of the operation. So that is the major part contributing to the relief activities. Okay, so what is humanitarian relief supply chain? I think today morning you have heard about the Dr. Amy Rams talk about the supply chain. When we talk about relief supply chain here, it's the planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, cost-effective flow of storage of goods and materials, as well as related information from the point of origin to the point of consumptions for the purpose of alleviating the suffering of the vulnerable people. Very long, isn't it? Okay. The function encompasses of the activity like preparedness, planning, procurement, transport, warehousing, tracking and tracing, and customs clearance. To make it simple, the supply chain is the movement of first aid materials, food supplements, and rescue personnel here, all the doctors, people are moving goods and things like that, and the related information between the victims and also the relief aids guys to lessen the humans' suffering and deaths. Okay, that is HRCM. Okay, my topic is basically it's about Malaysia. Okay, Malaysia in December 2014, the people in Malaysia was affected with a flood. Okay, it was one of the worst natural disaster ever happened in Malaysia, and yeah, if it is in tsunami, 230,000 people killed. But during the Malaysia 2014 flood, 230 people affected and 20 killed. You know, my problem statement will be actually what happened during that time. Not only people in the affected state, but all over Malaysia, they managed to collect huge amount of supply for the affected people. Okay? And so many companies, volunteers, donors have supported this. But if you see here, although in these cases the help has been handed to the affected population by the government, NGOs, and publics, but there were complaints logged that it was not delivered just in time. Okay, maybe it was delivered after a week or after a few hours, but it was not delivered just in time. And in most of the local dailies and social media, people have started to post and started to claim that the victims was continually affected with issues such as no clean water, insufficient food supplies, interruptions of electricity, and also inconsistency of communication coverage. Besides that, those people which is affected and not registered with the government agencies, the NGOs refuse to help them when the NGOs carry supplies to other affected areas. So I read few articles about it. When the NGOs passing through some villages, even though people are stopping them, but these people are not stopped. They just keep moving and move to another village to deliver the supplies. These are some examples people posted in FB. No clean water? Yes. So what is my problem statement? Okay. Actually, as reference to the 7R concept of commercial supply chain, in humanitarian logistics, the aid should reach the affected parties at the right place, right time, right quantity, right quality, right price, right condition. And the most important thing here is the right victim. Okay? If it is in supply chain, we call it right customer. Commercial supply chain, we call it right customer. But when we talk about humanitarian logistics, it should be to the right victim. Okay? And also together with that, it will be tied up with the efficiency and responsiveness, which is equally critical for a successful disaster response. These are the things that I'm going to focus on. Okay. Therefore, the aim of my study will be to develop a framework for humanitarian relief supply chain for Malaysia. Okay, this framework will serve as a guideline to the government to respond and manage logistic functions during disaster. You might want to ask me, so you're saying that your country don't have any plan? We do have. Okay, we do have national disaster management policies, but My topic will be covered from the logistics and supply chain part. It's more on logistics and supply chain. My research objective is to measure the impact of the humanitarian aid project during the East Malaysia flood in 2014, to gauge the effectiveness of the existing plan and management of logistics operation in disaster relief, to investigate various barriers in coordinating humanitarian relief in Malaysia, to identify various criteria of a responsive humanitarian supply chain that constitute overall relief process, and of course to construct humanitarian relief supply chain framework for Malaysia. And I have 5 objectives. The brain state must come up with 5 research questions. Like here, you have 5 research questions. The first one will be, what are the positive and negative impact to the victim from humanitarian aid during the 2014 East Malaysia flood? Okay, to measure the impact of the humanitarian project, the researcher, which is me, I will be collecting the information from the aid beneficiary, which means here the victim. I have to collect the information from the victim. For that purpose, I will be using a structured question, structured research so to collect the data from the victim. My second research question: how effective and responsive are the Malaysian humanitarian organizations in planning and managing logistics operation during disaster relief? Again, I will be using a structured questionnaire to collect data from the NGOs and also the government agencies. Besides that, we'll conduct an in-depth interview with the high-rank officers from the NGO and government agencies, such as like SMART, Red Cross Prisons, and to understand how the logistics operation and functions were managed. For this purpose, I also will be collecting data from the from TUDM. Yep. Okay, and the research question 3. Is there any barriers in coordinating humanitarian relief chain in Malaysia? And to collect the information, I'll try to use a focus group approach. Basically, maybe the village, people like that, sorry. And the fourth one will be, what are the various criteria of responsiveness, humanitarian supply chain that constitute an overall relief process? For these, an open-ended question will be used to gather the feedback from the participants, and this will give some insight why certain opinions from the beneficiary and also the benefactor side. And this will help to validate the existing strategies and produce some insight for developing the future strategies. And number 5, how to develop the humanitarian supply chain framework. For this purpose, I have to do a critical analysis and evaluative or review on the literature related to the humanitarian supply. And also, I have to the framework will be developed after all the interviews, surveys, data, and focus group views, and the issues are gathered and analyzed. What will be the impact to Malaysia later on? Okay, actually, the research will investigate and discuss some of the emerging issues and lessons learned from the disaster that occurred in Malaysia and managing the future disaster in the country, and also to take appropriate steps to respond effectively to reduce the adverse impact of the disaster on the disaster-affected community. My methodology. Again, my research will have a qualitative and quantitative method. And once I have all the data, I will be using developing a data analysis model using decision tree. Why decision tree? Because I have few stakeholders actually. My data collection is not only from the victim, also from the NGOs, also from the government agency. So these are the few categories of people, and they will give me so many inputs, right? So I have to make it and think which one is related. If let's say A plus person A is something, then I have to cross-check with person B and C and come up with a decision tree data analysis method. And my expected results and benefits. Okay, it can be a guide to provide a deliberate action plan for the government to manage during the catastrophe. The framework is believed to be a resourceful and competent for the development of humanitarian relief supply chain in Malaysia. It is just enough for me to come up with a framework without any performance measurement. No, I really have to come up with a performance management, which means that I have to come up with a scorecard, performance scorecard. So whatever suggestion or recommendation that what I make later on, I have to put a measurement for that. Okay, either on time or after a week, the report should come out based on the Malaysia Catastrophe 8 Beneficiary Scorecard, or I call it as ICAPS. And basically, it will be based on these 7 R of the supply chain, which is tied up with the efficiency and responsiveness. And this is all my references. And for time being, if you want to know the development, I've just collected about 60 hours literature review. 60 hours journals. Okay, and I just started to review one by one. So after this, I'm going to focus on that and started to write my chapter 1 up. Okay, maybe in my next colloquium, I will present to you about my chapter 1 and other things that I have completed. Okay, thank you. Ms. Preeti, any questions?
Hello. Yes, okay, thank you very much. Before you listen, I want to correct that 60 different journal papers.
Yeah, journal papers.
You mentioned 60 different journals. Journals also have many papers inside.
60 different papers.
Journal papers.
Journal papers, yes.
Okay, any questions?
You were saying framework. Okay, so I was thinking, what is a framework? And what is it's kind of like going to be like a conceptual model or a framework. How do you say?
Yeah, that's my exact question. So framework and model, is it the same thing? Can it be like interchangeable?
Okay, the earlier idea was to develop.
Model looks very simple, framework looks very high. So can we? Is there a difference between the two? I mean, just a general discussion.
Let me check the doctorism. Any different doctorism?
Is it the same? Can we just use whichever we like? Simple we like, we can use conceptual model, conceptual framework.
Framework is also sometimes
Yeah, actually that's we've had examiners questioning this. When you propose a framework, have you tested against different variables like how does the framework fare with political conditions of the country, economic conditions of the country? So your framework should talk about everything.
Yes. My suggestion later on would be like that. It's going to be like a guidance to the government. So I got to test that behind the government and also the end users, whether it's accepted by them. Because it's not that something that I propose for a commercial purpose, but this is for the benefit of the country, then I have to really take into consideration of all this.
When we talk about framework, it's not only about the government or only about the business. It actually should talk about everything. That is the framework. Business, government, economy,
and academic. Actually, 3 things, not mistaken, is business, government, and academic. And my work, it will help the business, government, and academic. And for the academic part, will be the scorecard. The framework will be a guidance for the governments and business agencies such as donors and NGOs. But this framework, this scorecard will be for the academic purpose. So I cover all 3.
Yeah,
second question is speaking.
No, that's the same question continuation. Okay, so this framework actually, when we just look into the word, using the word framework.
Okay, I'll recheck with my main supervisor, co-supervisor, and try to revise it.
And please inform us about your information gain so we can also.
Sure, we'll share that in the next colloquium. Any other questions?
Share it in our MGS group.
We'll do that.
Okay, this presentation is giving me a good thing that I'm like working with heroes. Because she's saving people, Rajan is saving the world, another person is also saving the people's life. And anyway, to be honest with you, this sort of research that they have an impact to society. I personally like this kind of research. And let's say on the first day she started her study, she experienced different branches of research. This is the last one. This is my first time when I'm seeing.
Actually, initially I was doing something else, which is intermodal freight transportation system. And then recently, I was writing a paper for journal, for a grant, sorry. Okay, I was writing something for a grant and I found out that this topic is something very much interesting compared with my earlier topic. And I have, it was reviewed by 3 professors, which is Dr. Prem, Dr. Suhaiza, and Dr. Veera. So then they say, why don't I just carry on with this title? And that's the reason I'm doing it today. And yeah, Dr. Veera, first time you're seeing it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was really surprised with this topic. This area of research, really research. Definitely later on that very good impact also disaster or then even made this a disaster. But anyway, you have to prepare also these kind of things that it's part of our life and we have to accept this and we must prepare also for this kind of disaster. Thanks for choosing this topic. I personally like it.
Thank you, Dr. Reza. And I'd like to thank my supervisor, Dr. Prem Kumar, and my co-supervisor, Dr. Mahmood, and not forgetting Dr. Veera and Dr. Reza for helping me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much everybody for being with us today. And the last presentation we had today, I had also promised from one of our students to present by Skype, but fluctuation proposal was not ready. That's why I canceled the presentation for today's session. And I would like to officially adjourn this today's event. And tomorrow also we have another day anyway. And I would like also to invite all of you to join us tomorrow, last day of this colloquium, the brilliant colloquium that we have had together. And we're going to have some presentation tomorrow at 1 industry time, which is very interesting. I did something for you proud and what it's all about ethics and proud in the workplace by one of our PhD students, Turai, who has been absent so far, but he will join us to give us his presentations and also this industry. Please, if any of you have experience in your area, in your company, in your work nature, and you want to share with other friends and give us a topic, I can plan for next colloquium and I invite you to come here and give us the industry time. I think all the also enjoy it. You can start one presentation for any of our PhD students that they have any topic in their mind that they think that is useful and just others. And tomorrow we are going to have a presentation of my friend Mr. Chudun from Nigeria and Mr. Chen from Finland, very far. And we are all gathered together here, right? And also we have a presentation of PhD student in biotechnology. She's the first one in biotechnology in this topic who is presenting her work, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And also Chikamo is also on faculty member, PhD in management, and Mr. Turai. I think he's in day tomorrow. He's going to give us time and also present his biography work. And we're supposed to have Mr. Nixon. I'm not seeing him in this event. He was supposed to present. And also, I have a semi-acceptance from our friend, Dr. One, just to present you
He promised to be, but she's ready. You can enjoy from because she changed her topic already, and she needs more time. Because ladies, they want to be perfect. That's why semi-presentation is exceptional. But I told her this is very friendly session. If you'd like to share your research finding or anything you've done so far in your research work, we will be happy, more than happy to hear from you. If not, we can accept her in this round. I'm sure in next round, the next one, we can share anything to share with us. And thank you so much, everybody, for your time, for your support, for being with us until this day. And we're looking forward to see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you. Please, everyone, come and follow my friend. Any of you, if you did not receive your flag scan account, just send me an email, a reminder. I will register you in flag scan. The same is for plagiarism, similar to it. Did you receive? I think I registered you, no? Then it will change. Flag scan. Just in case,